Can share. Get this out the way. All right, what's going on, everybody? Top of the morning to you. I took me a little sabbatical yesterday. I had to take a little break, man. I was like, yo. So we got some news today. Many of y'all gonna find out in a little bit here. I'm sure some of these outlets are gonna start talking about it more and more and more. But Diddy had a new bail hearing today, or proposed for a new bail hearing. I'm gonna read that out to you guys in a few seconds. See if you just give me 1 second to get everybody in here. Okay, I should have done it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm having some little technical difficulties here, but we worked it out. We worked. What's going on, guys? Give me 1 second. I'm just sharing this real. All right, we're just gonna go from here. I'm having difficulties or whatever. We'll explain that later. Let me get to the news here. Let me get to the news. Sean Combs awaiting sentencing asks judge to release him from jail. And that's how it's titled or whatever. But I hate when they try to make it look like he's groveling. Anyway, lawyers for the music mogul is sentenced in October for prostitution charges, filed court papers saying he would like to sign a $50 million bond. Okay, lawyers for Sean Combs asked the judge on Tuesday to release him on a $50 million bond while he awaits sentencing for federal conviction earlier this month of charges of transportation and to engage in prostitution, as we all know at this point. Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, was acquitted of more serious charges in sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy in conclusion of the trial that lasted 8 weeks. I still don't feel like that trial lasted 8 weeks. After the music mogul's conviction on July 8th, the judge, Aaron Sabaranian, denied his lawyer's request to have him released for detention pending his sentence, saying that Mr. Combs' history of domestic violence showed that he could pose a danger to others. During Mr. Combs' trial, prosecutors argued that the executive acted as a kingpin of a criminal organization and that he coerced two long-term girlfriends to participate in ritualized sexual encounters with male escorts. Among the evidence presented at court was a security video showing Mr. Combs assaulting one of these women, Cassandra Ventura, in a Los Angeles hotel. Had Mr. Combs been convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking, he could have faced life in prison. But the jury largely rejected the government's portrayal of him as a famed producer, and finding him only guilty of prostitution-related counts under the Mann Act. Each carries its maximum sentence of 10 years at tops. In their motion filed through Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers argued that the circumstances of his case justified his release. They described Mr. Combs as a case as exceptional, arguing as they had at trial, and Mr. Combs and the woman involved in the case had participated in a consensual swinger lifestyle involvements and threesomes. She had not been coerced, as the government had charged. In the history of the statute, the defense motion said that the Mann Act has never been applied to facts similar to these, to the prosecution, or to incarcerate any other person. The defense also said the Mann Act, which passed in 1910, had a history of rich with both racism and misogyny, and it does. It was used for Jack Johnson, who was a boxer, and him taking a white woman that later on became his wife from state to state, where they had no interracial. No law. They had laws against interracial marriage and dating and stuff like that in the United States. It's history. And for that, Jack Johnson, look him up if you don't know who he is. And for that last 75 years, it has primarily been used to prosecute cases involving financial gain through the business of prostitution, not against Johns who make use of these prostitution services, which is very true. Mr. Combs' legal team had made a similar argument to Judge Samarinian immediately after his conviction, and offered to post $1 million bond and restrict Mr. Combs' travel to the areas around New York City, Los Angeles, Miami Beach, where he lives. The new bond proposal of $50 million was secured by Mr. Combs' Star Island mansion outside Miami, the motion said. After the jury verdict, John Samarinian made it clear that he did not see an opening for Mr. Combs to be granted bail. The law requires that the defendant convicted under the Mann Act be detained ahead of sentencing, unless there are exceptional circumstances warranting a release. Even then, the court must find the defendant does not pose a risk of flight or danger. The judge said that Mr. Combs could not meet. The judge said Mr. Combs could not meet the standards because his defense had admitted to repeated domestic violence against one of the women at the center of the government's case, Ms. Ventura. This type of violence, which happens behind closed doors in personal relationships, sparked by unpredictable bouts of anger, is impossible to police with conditions, the judge said. In arguing for continued detention, the prosecution also highlighted a physical fight with other former girlfriend in 2024, which Mr. Combs knew he was under federal investigation. That woman, who testified under the pseudonym Jane, said his blows left her with bruising and welts. In their motion, Mr. Combs' lawyers acknowledged the incident, but said that Mr. Combs had been provoked by Jane. That's another conversation we're going to have, too, about provoking and taunting people. The only thing is exceptional about the defendant of his wealth, his violence, and his brazenness, Maureen Coleman, prosecutor, told the judge after Mr. Combs' conviction. This month, after Mr. Combs' verdict, Mr. Comey, who had also been the prosecutor against the case against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, was fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of people will wonder why she was fired. I think that's why she was fired. I think she was fired. Coleman knew from the two things. I think she was fired for the failed attempt of trying to convict. I'm talking about Maureen Comey. I think she was fired for the. Okay, I'll say it this way. I think she was fired because this Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell inquiry was coming up, and I think because she failed on the prosecution of this, they didn't want any re-entering of her being prosecution. If any other prosecution or any other inquiries, any other divulgence of Mr. Epstein, may he rest in be exposed in the further future. And if you didn't know, 2 times last week they interviewed Trump's former lawyer. They interviewed, which is now in the position, I believe, of the Justice Department in some capacity or another metric. They actually interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell 2 times. And I might probably get a little bit into that or whatever they talked about with her, whatever the case may be. I think it's interesting, but I think she was let go because of both of those reasons, ultimately, because the inquiry started coming in a little shortly after that. In an interview with the New York Times, Nicole Westmore, one of Mr. Combs' Westmoreland, one of Combs' lawyers, said the defense intends to appeal the Mann Act convictions. Mr. Combs' legal team has long argued that the mogul had been unjustly prosecuted under the law, arguing against the charge before trial. The defense asserted that Mr. Combs has been selectively prosecuted based on his race. The lawyer highlighted that described as the law's racist origins and its history of being used to target black male sexuality, pointing to the prosecution of Jack Johnson, just like I told you guys before, the first black heavyweight boxing champion who was convicted under the law of transporting a white woman across state lines. Johnson, who died in 1946, was pardoned by President Trump in 2018. How about that? How about that, huh? How about that? Thanks one time. In response, prosecutors highlighted a history of routinely charging defendants for violating the Mann Act alongside the allegations that sex trafficking and other exploitative conduct. Judge Samarinian rejected the defense argument, writing that whatever the troubled history of the law its present-day enforcement appears to face race neutral in this district, reaching across race and gender. See, I don't agree with that statement. I'm sorry, Judge Samarinian, respectfully. I don't. You would have to be indulged, like in the history of the country, to understand that, and your family would have to have lived in that time period. I don't grab the notions when I see people, and I'm not dissing Judge Samarini. I'm just mostly making a point. Some people, whether you don't like that what's name or not, I'll give you an example. I don't know the remnants of what happened after Idi Amin and his toppled government regime, or the things they did when they were around there. Nor do I have a grandmother or a grandfather or anybody to explain that to me. What's going on? I don't have anybody to explain to me what it might have been like within my family dynamic, what this situation might have been within Ukraine. I wouldn't have had a situation. You understand what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And so, like, yes, you can understand the history. We can understand that something going on here, something going on there, something going on here. But you don't understand its impact on one such culture. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you're involved with that culture. And I just say no. I go out every day, and I still to this day have there's one place that I sit that's very opulent area, if you want to say, and I fit right into it, down not too far from where I'm at. And the funny thing about it is sometimes I'll be in there and I'll have individuals, not that are white, but individuals that are other minorities, and they'll come in there and they'll have their thumb pointed up or whatever, right? Just understand what I'm saying here. And it's funny because when it's those minorities, it seems like they're trying to fit into a paradigm of white people. And they're doing it forcibly, and it's not natural. And as they think they're looking up and they're being looked upon as a maverick in the moment, I'm like, you're not. You're looking kind of silly. So I know that there's still people out there that are not just minorities, but you also have white people out there that kind of condone this thought process that everybody now is. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more too, because there's a video that's out that's real disturbing to me, and I don't like it. It's being directed the wrong way, but like a lot of this material out here. But I just say that that statement about Jack Johnson and the history of this country, and why that law, the Mann Act, was created. A lot of women at the beginning said, "This ain't about racism." I said, "No, sweetheart, why you doing all that trying to talk fast and you don't even realize who Jack Johnson is?" And that's what you should have did. You should have did your Googles and find out who Jack Johnson was and why this Mann Act that has been applied throughout history since 1910 definitely would tell you is a contingent. You know what I'm saying? That's like you might as well have a Jim. This is a Jim Crow era law. And you talking about race don't play a part in it? No, race does play a part in it. And the expectability that a black man will be guilty just because of the pure simple fact of his skin color, and a white man should be found innocent beyond until he can be proven guilty, it is a statement that's always been in this country. And I was just really shocked and scared doing this trial to see how many, unfortunately enough, women of the same hue that was enforcing this ideology based off a law that was created against blacks. You know, like that. That's a whole new form of like, yo, let's just join up and put the shackles on the self. You might as well. Mr. Combs has been held in Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his arrest in September 2024. Ms. Westmoreland, in her interview, said that Mr. Combs remained in a dormitory-style unit called, known to house high-profile inmates. She said that Mr. Combs had stayed in communication with his family and legal team, and that his lawyers were committed to working for his release. We're not going to be satisfied, Ms. Westmoreland said, until he's home. I like her. That's a black woman too. Now I'm gonna start this over from the top for people that just tuning in because I do owe you that. Lawyers for Sean Combs asked the judge on Tuesday to release him on a $50 million bond. Now y'all remember this was probably the same $50 million he had to offer up the first time. That's why people was on here. Puff going broke. Puff going broke. I was like, look, I worked for this man for 17 years. You do not know. And our work contributed to some of his wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like quite literally. So yeah, you can't tell me that one. He ain't going broke. All right. So lawyers for Sean Combs asked for a judge on Tuesday to release him on a $50 million bond while he awaits sentencing for a federal conviction earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution. Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, was acquitted of more serious sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy at the conclusion of his trial that lasted 8 weeks. After the music mogul's conviction on July 2nd, the judge, Aaron Samaranian, denied his lawyer's request to have him released from detention pending his sentencing, saying that Mr. Combs' history of domestic violence showed that he could pose a danger to others. During Mr. Combs' trial, prosecutors argued that the executive acted as a kingpin of a criminal organization, that he could coerce two long-term girlfriends to participate in ritualized. That's the first time I heard somebody add that to it. Ritualized. Ritualized sexual encounters with male escorts. Among those evidence presented in court as security video showing Mr. Combs. Continue on. Had Mr. Combs been convicted of racketeering or sex trafficking, he could have faced life in prison. We all know this. But the jury largely rejected the government's portrayal of him as of the famed producer, finding him guilty of only 2 prostitution-related counts under the Mann Act. Each was carries a maximum of 10 years. In their motion filed Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers argued the circumstances of the case justified his release. They described Mr. Combs' case as exceptional, arguing that they had at trial, that Mr. Combs and the woman involved in the case had participated in consensual swinger lifestyles that involved threesomes. They had not been coerced, and as the government had charged. In the history of the statute, the defense motion said the Mann Act was never applied to the facts similar to these. The prosecutor incarcerate any other person ever. And I always like to highlight that ever. Guys, can you make sure you hit the like button? There's over 100 plus people in here and only one person liked. We got the haters and the bloggers back here again. The defense also said that the Mann Act, which had passed in 1910, had a history rich in both racism and misogyny, and misogyny, yes, and that for the last 75 years, it had primarily been used to prosecute cases involving financial gain through the business of prostitution. What's going on, Lisa? Guys, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Not against Johns who make use of the prostitution services. So I want to highlight that again. It says. The defense also said that the Mann Act, which was passed in 1910, had a history of rich both with racism and misogyny, and that for the last 75 years has been primarily used to prosecute cases involving financial gain through the business of prostitution. Meaning you had some broads out here on the script. You understand what I'm saying? So, not against Johns who make use of the prostitute services. Mr. Combs' legal team had made a similar argument, and Judge Samarini immediately after his conviction had offered to post $1 million bond to restrict Mr. Combs from travel in areas around New York City, Los Angeles, Miami, and where he lives, all three residencies, if you don't catch it. The new bond proposal of $50 million would be secured by Mr. Combs' island mansion outside Miami. The motion said, after the jury verdict, Judge Samarini made it clear that he does not see an opening for Mr. Combs to be, after the jury's verdict. Now, this is not now, this is after the jury's verdict. Judge Samarini made it clear that he did not see an opening for Mr. Combs to be granted bail. The law requires that the defendant convicted under the Mann Act be detained ahead of sentencing unless there are exceptional circumstances warranting release. Even then, the court must find the defendant does not pose a risk or flight or danger. Now, that's why I think you got here with Mark and team and Miss Westmoreland. I want to pronounce her name right. I think that's what they put that into the language. Exceptional, you understand? And I think it should stay with that term because, like, what you guys are not understanding is Jack Johnson was a boxer. If you guys don't know who he is, Jack Johnson was a boxer. He was a famed boxer, one of the first black heavyweight boxers, if you want to say, in the game. Guys, we got over 120 people in here. Please double tap the screen and hit the like button. There was a situation where he was involved with a white woman. And this was a woman that he loved. He ended up marrying. I want to highlight that. That's one of some, chick he had met. And so he would go back and forth across, state lines, Georgia, here, there, whatever. And this is the time of I think this is like 1910, 8, 10, 9, something like that, or whatever. And some of these states had, for example, up until 1975, I think it was Love versus Virginia. I think that was the name of the case, Love versus Virginia. I might be wrong, but I think it was Love versus the state of Virginia. And in this case, it was a black woman who wanted to marry a white man. And because of the laws in Virginia at that time, in 1975, okay, this wasn't that long ago, 1975, they had to go and challenge the law itself that was still in statute on the court. So when somebody tells me we're talking about Jack Johnson in 1910 with the Mann Act, then you fast forward it to 1975 and you still see laws existing across the country at that time. And we were further on, history at that point. And so you're talking about in 1975, you have the case of Love versus the state of Virginia. And in this case, it's a white man, you would think. So he must have lead. This was a white man and a black woman that wanted to be like coupled. And it ultimately ended up being that Virginia was one of the last states that still had outlaws of interracial dating on their books. So if you know that history right there, you can't aptly say, okay, well, this, currently standing in this under 45, 50 years, it's changed. No, it doesn't change. I live around whites. I think a lot of times when you get people, not like Judge Samarini necessarily, but I think when you get people like Judge Samarini, it's like you have a white group in this country and a couple of blacks and Latinos as well that are in disdain at the presence of a man of color, more so than they are in disdain of a woman of color. And so, they feel fright, they feel flight, they feel however they feel, whatever. I had a man last night. I'll give you an example. I had a man last night who was Latino, He worked at one of the little local grocery stores. So me, three other people were standing outside. So fuck, let me stand outside too, smoke me a cigarette real quick. And I'm gonna give you an example. And he walked around the corner and just started profusely staring at me like I was there to hold up the store or something like that. So I had to check him. He then proceeded to, I said something to him subtly. He then proceeded to walk down the sidewalk, saw that I wasn't moving, turned back around, came back, sat at one point, then came back and sat closer to me. So I pulled a move on him. I already had something, you know what I mean? So I don't know what this nigga said, what his intentions are, what you're planning on doing. So I did the same fear tactic he wanted to do. I walked up behind him. I'm trying to show you how this works. I walked up behind him. I stood there, and I had Glicky with me. So I'm sitting there with Glicky. He don't even understand I got Glicky with me. Now, when I walk up behind him, he don't even see me. He sees me after I'm there. I'm quick. So it was like, okay, you did all that to prove what? Well, let me explain to what I'm saying to you. A lot of times you have, and I'm saying in Judge Salmaranian's case, he may not understand this. A lot of times this, and this is my personal opinion, a lot of liberal whites, I don't ever really see conservatives do this too much, but I live in a very liberal state here in Connecticut. Over 130 people in here, we can't get the like button. Like, that's ridiculous. Anyway, long story short, you have certain liberals, I believe, that put these ideologies in people's heads that you should be racist against black men specifically. Not black girls, but black men. Oh, they'll attack you. They'll do this. They'll do that. They'll do this. They'll do that. They'll do this. And now, in the past 20 years, I've seen an implementation of this within Latin men putting into Latin society, Latin culture. It's a particular type of Latin man, too. Usually a Latin man that particularly wants to form himself or surround himself with whiteness or something like that. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, I'd be like, yo, I'd be confused about this because it's not the Latino group I know or whatever, but I noticed there's a lot of different groups involved in this. We have another community out here in my area. It's a Bengali community, Bengali people. And they're kind of into the same thing. Like you'll see it when they interact with you. It'll be kind of like subtle sometimes or whatever. They want to quickly end the conversation because they want to engage with you or whatever. And so I've made it a thing not to even go to some of these people's cases or whatever. Look, we have over 152 people in here. I think I'm being very nice. Can you double tap the screen and hit the like button, please? There's over 152 people here and 4 likes. That is wow. This is the new hustle now, guys. You know, people will come to your channel, won't even like it or whatever. They just want the doppelganger off your information. That's crazy. I like that one. That's the new one, huh? We're all together. Power to the people. Hold on, let me stop. I'm sorry. That stuff's so fake to me because, like, your actions are not showing. You know what I mean? Like, your actions don't show that. It's just a bunch of mouth. Then they had the nerve to make fun of Umar the other day. I said, how y'all making fun of Umar? Y'all just like Umar. You don't get it? Lawyers for Sean Combs asked for judge on Tuesday to release him on a $50 million bond while he awaits sentencing for a federal conviction earlier this month on charges of transportation and engaged prostitution. Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy Diddy, was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy at the conclusion of his trial that lasted 8 weeks. After the music mogul's conviction on July 2nd, the judge, Aaron Samarinian, denied his lawyer's request to have him released from detention pending his sentencing, saying that Mrs. Combs' history of domestic violence showed that he could pose a danger to others. During Mr. Combs' trial, prosecutors argued that the executive acted as the kingpin of a criminal organization and that he coerced 2 long-term girlfriends. That's still funny to me. The kingpin of a criminal organization. Where do they get these things? Never been a criminal organization. I've seen people trying to liken us to the mafia, all kinds of stuff. That stuff doesn't exist. I'm kidding. After the music mogul's conviction on July 2nd, the judge, Aaron Samarinian, denied his lawyer's request to have him released from detention pending his sentencing, saying that Mr. Combs' history of domestic violence showed that he could pose a danger to others. During Mr. Combs' trial, prosecutors argued that the executive acted as a kingpin of a criminal organization and that he coerced 2 long-term girlfriends to participate in ritualized, that's the first time I heard this one added, ritualized sexual encounters with male escorts. Among the evidence presented at the court was security video showing Mr. Combs assaulting one of the women, Cassandra Ventura, at a Los Angeles hotel. Had Mr. Combs been convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking, he would have faced life in prison. But the jury largely rejected the government's portrayal of the famed producer, finding him guilty of only 2 prostitution-related counts under the Mann Act, each which carries a maximum of 10 years. In their motion filed Tuesday, Mr. Combs' lawyers argued the circumstances of the case justified his release. They described Mr. Combs as cases exceptional, arguing as they had at trial that Mr. Combs and the women involved in the case have participated in a consensual swinger lifestyle. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. I appreciate it. Almost 200 people in here and 7 likes. Wow, the hate is deep. And had not been coerced as the government had charged. In the history of the statute, the defense motion said that the Mann Act has never been applied to facts similar to these to prosecute or incarcerate any person. I want to underline that, any person. The defense also said that the Mann Act, which was passed in 1910, had a history of both racism and misogyny, and that the last 75 years has primarily been used to prosecute cases involving financial gain through the business of prostitution, not against the Johns who make use of the prostitute services. Mr. Combs' legal team had made a similar argument to Judge Samarini immediately after the conviction and offered to post $1 million bond to restrict Mr. Combs' travel to areas around New York City, Los Angeles, Miami Beach, and where he lives. The new bond proposal for $50 million would be secured by Mr. Combs' Star Island mansion outside Miami. What do you mean outside Miami? That's right in the South Beach. After the jury verdict, Judge Samarini made clear that he does not see an opening at that time, after the verdict. Not today, after the verdict. Had made it clear, and I want to put had made it clear that he did not see an opening for Mr. Combs to be granted bail at that time. The law requires that the defendant convicted under the Mann Act be detained ahead of sentencing unless there are exceptional circumstances warranting release. Good job to you, Ms. Westmoreland, for that beautiful language that you put up there as exceptional. Even then, the court must find that the defendant does not pose a risk of flight or danger. The judge said that Mr. Combs had not met the standard, and because his defense had admitted to repeated domestic violence against one woman at the center of the government's case, Ms. Ventura. The type of violence which happens behind closed doors and personal relationships marked by unpredictable bouts of anger is impossible to police with conditions, the judge said, in arguing that for his continued detention. The prosecution also highlighted a physical fight from another former girlfriend in 2024 when Mr. Combs knew he was under federal investigation. That woman, who testified under the pseudonym Jane, said his blows left her with bruising and welts. In that motion, Mr. Combs' lawyers acknowledged that the incident, but said that Mr. Combs had been provoked by Jane. Now, I want to highlight that in a minute too, provoked. Because I got something to say here, and a lot of people, they may or may not like it. The only thing exceptional about the defendant is his wealth, his violence, and his brazenness. Maureen Comey, prosecutor, told judges after Mr. Combs' conviction this month after Mr. Combs' verdict. Ms. Comey, who had been a prosecutor against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, was fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office of Southern District of New York, though the reason was unclear. I told you, I know why the reason was given was unclear. Now it appears obvious. They were going in to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, and they did not want this woman's interference or the fear of her coming in, and if they are planning to give her a pardon, they don't want any contestment from this woman. Guys, we got over 200 plus people in here and only 8 likes. Oh wow, that's crazy. 154 people need to get this live and go need to get off this live and go to their lives, do your work, and stop worrying about other shortcomings. Need to get off this live and go live on their lives. Also, you telling people to copy what I'm doing and go to their lives, bitch, you can get the fuck up out of here. These are some trifling people on here, aren't they? She was telling people just now they need to go live on their lives and leave my live alone. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we got really nutty people here on YouTube. A lot of mental illness happens here. So as a result of that, it happens. Arguing against the charge before the trial, the defense asserted that Mr. Combs was being selectively prosecuted based on his race. The lawyers highlighted that what was described as law's racist origins and its history of being used to target black male sexuality, pointing to the prosecutions of Jack Johnson, The prosecution of Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight boxing champion, who was convicted under the law for transferring a white woman across state lines. Johnson, who died in 1946, was ultimately pardoned by Trump in 2018. A lot of people don't know that. In response, prosecutors highlighted a history of routinely charging defendants with violating the Mann Act alongside allegations of sex trafficking and other exploitative conduct. Judge Sam Marinian rejected the defense argument, writing that whatever the troubling history of the law, its present-day enforcement appears to be race neutral in this district, reaching across race and gender. Now, that I don't agree with. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got to remove some more people. We have some very misandrous and racist and typically men-hating people on YouTube nowadays. I don't like this new system they have there. I don't need strangers. I need followers and people that are, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need weirdos. So it's over 200 people here. Nobody's hitting the like button, and that, you don't find that kind of weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason behind that. There's somebody that's sharing me, and like they're not people that mess with me. They're just sharing me because they want to get. Like, I had somebody just write in there, you should hop off this live and get on your own live and talk about what he saw. Okay, god damn, like y'all that petty now. Diddy is taking another bite at the apple because his legal team has just filed a new motion for bail, and they said he was the only man in America behind bars for hiring male sex workers to bang his girlfriend. Diddy's legal team, spearheaded by Mark Agnafilio and Tindy Garagos, just sent a new bail package proposal over to Judge Adam Semerinian, rattling off the list of reasons why they believe Diddy should be released from jail. In the docs obtained, Diddy's lawyers argue most folks are convicted of Mann Act charges. Diddy was found guilty of 2 Mann Act charges, also are released from custody before sentencing. Diddy's camp said it's ridiculous he's behind bars because he was only convicted of hiring professional male escorts who were not minors to have sex with long-term girlfriend as a part of a threesome. They said it was all part of Diddy, Cassie, Jane living their swinger lifestyle. His lawyers say a lot has changed on the terms of society's view of sex since the Mann Act was passed 115 years ago in June 1910. And they claim Diddy had never had sex with guys he hired, only his girlfriends did. Diddy's awaiting sentencing on October 3rd after being convicted of prostitution charges and skating on more serious charges, racketeering charges, and sex trafficking, but he was denied bail hours after the verdict was reached. In docs, Diddy's defense said he not only got violent with Jane in 2024 after she provoked him, there goes that word again, provoked him, and I'm going to use that in a minute in a nice little edit I got here. She provoked him with her own violent acts. You understand what I'm saying? And it claimed that the instance that Diddy had been violent since she split from Cassie. The jury was shown the Cassie hotel beating, but that was from March 2016. We all know about that. Diddy's proposed bail package looks like this: a $50 million bond secured by Diddy's Florida estate and co-signed by 3 financially responsible people. The proposal says Diddy will reside at his Miami home and limit his travel to the Southern District of Florida and Southern District of New York. It also proposes they be placed under U.S. Pretrial Services Agency supervision and surrender his passport. Diddy says if the court wants to add some more bail conditions, that's fine too, even if it means home detention, treatment for mental health and substance abuse, electronic surveillance, and private security. The judge is yet to rule, but prosecutors previously have argued against Diddy being released. Stay tuned. I'm on this letting you know, not finding a like or a share button, but I'm 60 now. Only thing you have to do, guys, is double tap the screen. You don't have to find a like button, just double tap the screen. I think that's what Renee is saying. I don't understand tip tap gibberish. I don't even know who you are. Brenda Doc. It kind of probably explains why somebody's coming over here, but I definitely don't engage in conversations with people that leave multitudes of laughing emojis and you're a grown adult. Yeah, well, I don't do that one. Yeah, we don't do that one. Let me see what else y'all saying in here. Make sure you just double tap the screen, guys. Hit the like button. I appreciate it. Somebody named Red King. I don't like people to use the word beg. I think people like that word should be eradicated. You know, everything's not begging. It's called helping. Anyway, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. So let me give you some things that I want to say here. First of all, I hope he does get the bail package. If he does get it, he does get it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't think any man should sit in jail for what he's been convicted of. You understand? That's the first thing. Second thing I think is this. I think that, and I said this a few minutes ago, I don't think Judge Samarinian knows the extent of this law, the Mann Act, or why it was incorporated. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but your name is Arun Samarinian. That's not exactly an American name, which therefore would tell me that you come from a background that's not, how can I say, invested in American culture. And this is the problem that we're having now. And I'm going to take this on another conversation too, but I want to explain what I mean. We have people that and I say this as half of what a fall that it was immigrant. You have people that are, my mother's Black American though. You have people that are coming to this country now, and they're kind of trying to, okay, let's start history here when I arrived versus the history that's been in this country prior to that. And what they'll do is they'll say, well, we're going to eradicate that history. Like, and these are ways they do it in their own countries or origins. Trust me, this they do this. They did this in the Dominican Republic. This is where they get it from. They get it from the Spanish conquistadors. So I know this very well. So they try to apply those same things here in the States. And what you're going to start seeing is a lot more pushback from that. I'm seeing now that a lot of niggas are trying to go get in shape and think they're going to do it that way. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing who you're flexing on. You're trying to flex on people that you assume or you think is weak. Or you're picking a time to flex on people when you see them when they're by themselves. And I'm telling you, that's dangerous. A lot of these little dudes, they don't care about that. A lot of these older dudes, they don't care about that either. And so you get these teams of people from different cultures that don't understand the height and the longevity that the United States Black Americans have had in this country. And the things that they've done to build this. Like, I always find it an insult. And I have to say this personally because I know my dad would say this. I always find it an insult when you have like people from certain groups and they make fun of African Americans when in fact the times that you're like Maxine Waters, she's a perfect example of this. Maxine Waters to this day still fights for immigrant rights. And there's been examples where people that were Latino have literally like tried to spit on Maxine Waters. And I'm like, this woman has fought for every immigrant right I can think of. She's still fighting right now for them. And I just find it amazing that you have the audacity to project yourself as being a racist or something like that, or whatever. But that's not the case with Judge Samarinian. What I was talking about with Judge Samarinian is it's impossible for him to understand the impact of racism because he doesn't incur it the same place. The racism that most of it comes from with a certain segment of white America, not inclusive of all white America, because I have a whole bunch of white friends, and they would agree with me on this. The difference is you had no history here, really. You understand? And I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, if I tell you to point to your history outside of 30 years ago, some cases maybe 40 years ago in this country, you'll give me an example of limited to nothing. If I ask you what the contributions are, you'll say limited to nothing. You understand what I'm saying? In most cases. So I think with Judge Samarinian, he makes a statement like that, and he says something that's race neutral. Yeah, it might be on the part of your, how can I say it, your decision, but the antithesis and the premise behind, even while we're here, is baked in a history that goes back almost 1910, 115 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? 115 years ago, respectfully enough, Judge Samarinian, if your family was here, your name wouldn't be Aran Samarinian. It would be something else. It would be like Joe this or Joe that. Like a lot of immigrant families, as time goes on, they tend to try to Americanize their children's names. You understand what I'm saying? So some guy may be known as Joe Wang or Mark Vasquez or whatever, you know what I mean? They're trying to Americanize their name a lot. Like I know there's a certain group of people that do this. So when Judge Samarinian says, I'm going to stay race neutral, you might feel like you're doing that, but the energy and everything else that comes from it, that's not what it is, my friend. And I say that to you respectfully as a judge or just as a person. That is not the history of this. That's why a lot of times I don't like to even to hear black women talk about what men go through as far as racism. The racism that they experience, men experience, is very different. There was no laws on the books in 1910 for black women and violent acts they may commit. You understand what I'm saying? Based on the fact that they're going to sleep with a white man. In fact, if you even look at the movie Harlem Nights, remember what he said? I got a girl out here, Philip Cantone. What was he? Who was he sleeping with? Sunshine. What year was that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, pay attention. It was a white men been sleeping with black women since the plantation days, and then later on they paid for it in juke joints, like you see in the movie Sinners. You know, so it's apparent. You know what I mean? I'm not saying apparent, but it's apparent that it's a kind of weird tightrope you're working here when you're dealing with Judge Sam Marinian. Because I think he's trying to be fair, but at the same time, I don't think he understands the history of this. I think if Puff would have had and I'm just saying this personally, I think if Puff would have had a white judge, I think he would have been out. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because dude, he's kind of stuck trying to please. When they're in those positions and they're from those types of backgrounds, he's stuck in a position where he's trying to please the people he works with versus a maverick judge that wouldn't give a damn what everybody else thinks. I'm here to do my job, and I don't know. I don't feel that's coming from that end. I think he's trying to go too much by the book. Dude, you have a law that's used that no one has ever been convicted of on a case that has been there for 115 years, and you pick this nigga to do it with? Come on. 115 years. This law has been on the books since 1910. 1910. And the fact that I see women down there when I was down at the courthouse celebrating that shit, I was like, you celebrating a law that was invented for niggas to be arrested for dating white chicks? But y'all won't say nothing about Serena Williams. Y'all don't say nothing about Eve. Eve looked damn little like the help in that Christmas photo she took. Fuck what they are saying. I love your content. I subscribe to your channel. People wake up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. And I'm messed up, man. My pockets is messed up. I need some help. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, man? So make sure y'all hit the Cash App, support that, and what's the name? And support the channel. You know, people want to get on here and they call me a Diddy supporter and all this stuff or whatever. And I stood at the same position I've stood at before. I played the role of neutrality. I said, if he's guilty of something extreme and they find out about it, hey, I'm here to tell you the truth and be like, hey, listen. And I've said this, like, it's in multiple lives. But, like, the thing with me now is I'm just seeing, like, repeatedly he's filing for bail since the beginning. I was down there at the beginning, now 9 months ago, when he was going to those bail hearings. I was down there when none of those other bloggers were down there. And so now I'm thinking, like, okay, this is like, what is sixth try trying to get bond? Like, at this point, you might as well just let him go unless you plan on giving him some strenuous conviction, which I don't think it should be for this. Those same prostitutes, if they are so much victims, right? Those same prostitutes have literally gone on a PR tour here on this app. They've been everywhere. I've seen them on blogs, interviewed them. What's the other one? The Art of Disaster, the Art of Dialogue over there, he interviewed them. Who else? Tasha K interviewed one of them. I knew something was wrong. My throat was dry. Pause. Tasha K interviewed one of the prostitutes, right? Everybody's interviewed the prostitutes. And pretty soon, later or not, I think after the what's the names, they're going to start interviewing the people that were on the jury. So you got people that's making a benefit off this. You don't go on and talk about stuff like that. I'm drinking coffee, looking at my Donald Trump picture on the wall. That's what's up, man. You drinking coffee, looking at your Donald Trump picture on the wall. You sound crazy. I don't like crazy people here. You got you gotta expect this. You gotta expect this. You gotta expect that even after the specifics of this Mann Act have been explained to people, please make sure you double tap the screen and hit the like button. We have over 200 people in here and 22 likes. Come on, like, what's the problem? Double tap the screen. You don't have to look for the like button. Just hit the screen 2 times like that. It doesn't take much. I could get other people in here. I have over 30,000 followers. I can get other people in here if that's the case. Can you just double tap the screen? I had 16 people just drop out because I said hit the like button. The way these people think is weird. Anyway, goodbye to y'all. We'll find you and block you. Anyway, long story short here. I think to myself, if this was my son, I think to myself, if this was my whatever, my son, my nephew, whatever, right? And they were in these same predicaments the Puff was in, how would I react? And I think anybody in here, if it was your son or your nephew or whatever, you act the same way that Miss Combs is acting. You understand? The same way his lawyer team is acting. I've seen niggas that went and got locked up for a couple ounces, and their family went to bat with them. Let's like this. We got a lawyer. Look, he said he might be able to get you out. A lot of y'all know this story. That's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all know this story while y'all sitting up here trying to play plastic. You see how a couple people dropped out because they know. See, let me tell you something about the mind of a nigga. Okay? And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but let me tell you the mind of a nigga or poor white trash. The mind of a nigga or poor white trash, because I'm very, very in depth in studying both of them, because they're a problem in this country. The nigga and poor white trash. And I'll explain to you in a minute. The nigga and the poor white trash, and I'm going to talk about something else that has to do with something else in a minute, but niggas and poor white trash are some of the most dangerous motherfuckers walking the earth. And I'm going to tell you why niggas and poor white trash are. Niggas and poor white trash invoke one thing unilaterally, and they never realized it. Destruction, anarchy, chaos, terrorism, whatever form or fashion they decide to div it out, whatever metric they decide to div it out, whether it be digital or in real life. Niggas and poor white trash have always been a problem in this country. You understand what I'm saying? At one time on the plantation, the niggas and the poor white trash worked together systematically. Why you think Stephen was there? Why you think Cora was there? You understand what I'm saying here? So when I look at motherfuckers sitting down in front of a courtroom after the verdict been read, and there's a whole bunch of black women sitting down there, that they treated you, some of y'all, this is horrible, if not more horrible than the men. The men were more work than the women on the plantation because the men could actually burrow hay and do all kinds of other shit a lot quicker, pick cotton quicker and everything else at a bulk. Not individually, but at a bulk. And so when I see women down at the courtroom that are black women and they sitting up there and they cheering for a Mann Act conviction, I said, bitch, if you was down here and you was cheering on any other conviction, I'd be cool with it. But you might as well walk up in that courtroom right now and throw some chains on your ass and say, throw me back to the field where I belong. If you sitting outside the courtroom cheering on a law that was won't you just go out there and cheer for motherfucking Jim Crow laws come back? Do that. Go out there and cheer for white-only fountains to come back while you're at it. You understand what I'm saying? See, the problem I have with a lot of girls in this debate is they don't see the reality of things. See, a lot of you girls, how many of you girls in my chat room right now, a lot of y'all trying to play coy and silent, how many of you girls in my chat room right now know a broad that provokes niggas? Answer me that. Or taunts men. How many of you girls in here can be honest with yourself right now and say, you know a chick that numerous times she'll go around provoking men, trying to beef with men, trying to poke her chest out because she knows she got a couple of goofy niggas that'll back her up? Anybody? Nobody knows what I'm talking about here? Okay, because in this literature, if you're not listening, in this literature that we're listening to or whatever, we hear in 2024, Jane, after provoking Diddy, after taunting him, or whatever the case may be, then there was some interaction or some violence. I hear the same thing when it come to Cassie. When that come to Cassie, look, women are writing in. She said, one girl said, I know 10. Another one said, I know 3 of them. I'm not wording this the right way. That's what it was. So there's women in here that are keeping it real, admittedly saying, yo, I know women that do shit like that. There are a lot of women out here that do this. It's not all women. You understand what I'm saying? But there's an elk of women that does this. I've seen it myself. Like, I've seen chicks literally start fights just for the hell of it, just to see get a laugh or get aroused that a nigga gets hurt or something. She don't care. They'll just sneak off, slide off to the side like it never happened. Go home, go sleep, don't care. It is said of Jane was taunting Diddy. I heard that in testimony. I heard that in another thing too. And then with Cassie, I heard the same thing. I heard that in testimony. She was taunting him. The thing I keep seeing here is, and the repeated thing, like, listen, we can point out the things that are bad. Yeah, pup whooped her up in the hotel. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, a couple other things I heard either the pup did or whatever. I can admit to that. There ain't no problem with that. But you also got to admit to this, and we're going to be in the realm of having the conversation and keeping it real. Or you just want to have your one-sided opinion because you want to see a conviction and you want to see it go away forever. The point is here, a lot of these girls were taunting these men. There's women in the chat room that are saying they know women like this. And until we have that conversation, you women will never be safe. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. The reason I say that is a lot of men that are in my chat room right now, have you ever been in that situation where a woman's trying to taunt you? Or you put, like, let me give you an example of taunting someone. When you see some of these TV shows, right, that y'all watch, these reality shows or whatever, you'll see a girl in there. She's like, you ain't gonna do nothing, you pussy ass broke ass nigga. You pussy ass broke ass nigga. You pussy ass broke ass. She keeps saying that to him and then running at him and throwing shit at him or whatever. Well, you ain't gonna do nothing, you pussy ass trunk ass nigga. You ain't gonna do that. This is a part of the culture. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you'll see repeatedly, and you know what I'm talking about. Anytime, if you go online right now, you can find 15 to 20 videos of some chick trying to attack a dude or trying to taunt a dude. You put that broke ass nigga. You ain't shit, nigga. I don't. You understand what I'm saying? This is part of the culture. It's a routine part of the culture. Like, it's culturally embedded in a subculture within a culture. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody in hip hop ain't. Everybody in this Black American ain't into hip hop. Women can be very hateful, jealous, and yes, provoking. Listen, I done seen a motherfucker. Listen, if a girl really want to get at you, the first thing they do is start talking about your mother. That's why whenever you've had a chick come in here and I say something to her, first thing she say something about my mother. You know what I'm saying? That's why my first reply is, my mama beat your ass. Like seriously, dead ass shit. My mom loved to scrap. My mom, like, listen, you do not know. My mother, at her age now, she will still scrap with you. So, like, what I'm saying is, you got a lot of these women that go around and they taunt these men. You understand what I'm saying? And then when they get the results they want, all of a sudden they victims or whatever. I think, honestly and truthfully, and I'm going to say not in all situations, but I think Cassie exploited the fact, yes, that tape happened. I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking about when it comes to $10 million from the hotel and when it comes from $20 million, I think you used that tape to exploit the situations and it didn't work for you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you were trying to say, yeah, there probably was a couple of incidents or whatever, but what does it reflect of you? We only got one version of that hotel footage, if y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. Meaning there's only that one videotape. There's no detail of what went on in that room. That wasn't even included in testimony. They never asked the question, well, what was going on fully in the room? What was the conversation like? They asked little, in my opinion, like little excerpts of what was going on. But you never got exactly what happened. You know what I mean? What do you say here? I just need people to separate what they show you on social media and what you see from entertainment for real. Like, I'll be on that every day. Now everyone likes to fight even if they can. That's right. That's exactly what happened. That's why I don't support women no more. And I'm trying to tell you, you ladies, and that's why I keep trying to tell them, they don't understand the part of where they're leading it. I said this before, the day that I'll get to you 2 seconds. And guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. We got over 200 people in here and only 28 likes. Double tap the screen and hit the like button and make sure y'all support the Cash App, man. My pockets is messed up. I need some help. Anyway, long story short, I think that's why, and I'm so glad these girls are here. I think that's why a lot of people don't see what's going on. That day, okay, first of all, I told people, I said, when you down there, and I'm talking about somebody that was out at the courthouse, somebody that covered the Diddy trial way before any of these bloggers did. I was down there now 9 months ago when he was doing his bail hearings. Okay, so keep that in mind. I covered the bail hearings, the jury select. I covered all that in person, and still don't get the recognition for it or whatever, because the nigga would rather hate on me than salute me. If you salute me, they feel like they down in themselves. It's just that culture. That's how you got to deal with it. So let me explain to you. I knew when I started seeing the girls show up down there, but they weren't showing up in support of Cassie. I tried to distinguish that these girls are not down there in supporting Cassie necessarily. They're down there to see Cassie. They're down there to get footage of Cassie. They're down there to yell and hope to get some recognition from Cassie. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they down there. They wasn't down there like, yay, Cassie, you've always been my number one and I've always loved you. Okay, show us your phone right now and show us at least 4 Cassie songs you got on your phone. Because Drake is one of my favorite artists. Kanye is one of my favorite artists. I got more than 4 songs on each one of them. Nas is one of my favorite artists. I got more than 4 songs from Nas on my road. You understand what I'm saying? Show me how much you support it. And most of them, they can't show you that support priorly. Now, if you don't believe me, the next thing happened was that Kid Cudi came down. No, actually, it was Kid Cudi first or Don Rashad? I think it was Kid Cudi. He came. They got another flight of a concert. This is a concert that niggas couldn't afford to go to a concert, go to. That's what you're not understanding. The courtroom was a concert for these cats. So they were down there to get the footage. They wasn't actually invested, majority of them, in what was going on or whatever the case may be. Because if they were involved in the specifics, they would have seen and caught themselves and seen, no, I'm not down here. But their advocacy down there, this is what it evoked. Now, I said that for a reason. Based on the fact that they were so egotistically driven to defend Cassie without even knowing the details. They were so egotistically, and I say barren in soul, to support all the other girls or whatever without knowing the specifics. Something quite actually opposite happened for them that they thought was going to intentionally be good for them to happen. See, I think a lot of the girls, they thought the outcome was going to be different than what it actually was, so they'd be looked upon as dominant in the end. And what it actually has happened is, on top of this T-app exposure, you chicks are starting to look like the area where we need to stay away from women like you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me explain to you what I mean by that. Women that are online gossiping, you shouldn't date any of them. Meaning, if you know a chick and she's got a freaking gossip blog, stay the fuck away from her. This is not the woman that you want to date. Because if something goes wrong with you, what do you think she's going to do? She's going to come to social media. So men are going to start removing themselves from women that are heavily on social media. That'll be the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is, women, I've heard this a lot more, and I've heard many women vloggers even talk about it. Men are not approaching you anymore. You understand what I'm saying? See, there's repercussions. People don't want to talk about the repercussions. They just want to talk about the tea and all that. No. Let's talk about the repercussions of what's happening, because a woman just wrote that in there. I didn't write that in there, and I had been and told y'all that. These men are going to stop supporting you. They're going to stop being behind you. If you're in freaking, what's the name? If you're in danger or peril, you're going to find less and less men willing to help you. Yeah, you'll always find these super simps and these chimp niggas out here that, you know what I mean? They be ready to chimp out over a bitch. You understand what I'm saying? But majority of these guys now, I'm around people that are usually around the age around about like 25 through 40-ish all the time. You understand what I'm saying? On a constant basis. I pay more attention to what the like 25 through 34 crowd says, because it's more prevalent to what I do. And that's the one thing I've noticed. Niggas have stopped pulling back. Niggas are not approaching women anymore. You out of your mind? Niggas are not approaching women, not even at the bar. And niggas are dissing chicks. And a lot of dudes are starting to look at women, like I've been saying for a while now, that a lot of these girls kind of seem like they're like quasi-lesbians more so than they're into men. Like it's almost like they don't even like men. They don't even know how to attract the men. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of confusing or whatever. She said, this one right here said, he ain't talking about nothing. You're going to be one of those people. Watch out for those crowds right there. See, there's some people that can't embellish and they can't invoke on a conversation further than what it is based on the entertainment perspective and elk of it. They can't expound on anything else. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get people like that, specifically women, and they sit there, they say, he ain't on nothing. Why don't you check the atmosphere and see what people are saying first? Because I'm a guy and I stand up to use the bathroom every day and I talk to other dudes. And I'm telling you, more and more these guys are stepping away from you. Now, if you don't listen to that from a guy, that's like me like not listening to a woman on how to get a date. That's stupid. You understand what I'm saying? And you got people that are in the chat room and they just said it plain out and simple. I'm watching how I approach women. I'm watching how I engage with women. So you're going to see a lot of women that are going to start not getting dated and stuff like that because of cases like this, and them watching with their own 2 eyes. Like a lot of, I don't know, and I'm not saying this to be wrong, a lot of black women are not aware of how they're perceived. You understand? I don't know why. We need to find out the root of what caused a person to go to wrong direction and help them through the process and find out what helps them grow and move forward. Yeah, but you can't just say that for men, because when you say that, you like to, like, I notice a lot of black women like to do that. They like to just point out the flaws in men. No, we're talking about women. What are your flaws? See, what I said was Jane provoked Puff a whole bunch of the time. And this is written down, this is put out by even different outlets. She was provoking him. It was, you've had Cassie on her own admission say, I provoked him, or I swung at him, or I threw something at him, or whatever. They were abusing each other. You understand what I'm saying? They were abusing each other. So when we're talking about this, the constraints of him filing a new bail package today, which I explained already, I'm not going to reread it. I've read it 4 times. But it's just like the emphasis that's been put onto this versus Epstein, versus Weinstein, versus many other, the dude from Abercrombie and Fitch, the 4 brothers that were arrested and waiting trial down in Florida that are from New York for their atrocities. The emphasis that's been put on specifically Puff for ultimately getting convicted of hiring male gigolo niggas to Sling D and his bitch is beyond my comprehension. You understand what I'm saying? When these same motherfuckers ain't got no energy for Epstein. And Epstein abused over 1,000 individuals. All underage. Puff, all the prostitutes wasn't underage. The girls that were advising and sucking D, they wasn't underage. So if your real premise is like y'all were running around to my, yo, Puff did this to kids, what about the children? How come y'all ain't asked about what the children were motherfucking Epstein? Jesus Christ. Now, because you selective. And that was a nigga. And you gotta take a nigga out, right? See, Trump did one of the biggest things that y'all didn't even realize and just slapped you in the face with. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him now. See, in revealing and some people gonna get this, some people ain't. And I say sometimes it's this good damn presidential motherfucking work. Trump, I appreciate you. Gip. Listen here. In exposing and bringing back up the Epstein case, we have to do one thing. We have to revisit things, right? And when we revisit things, this is the one thing that we have to do. We have to fall in emphasis what's going on as we revisit it. So as we're revisiting the Epstein case, not only did we get reminded that there's 1,000 individuals that were abused, that were young girls, but also we were able to review the fact that there was a woman that was helping them. Now, a lot of y'all sat around and said, what was that girl's name, KK? When is K going to get prostituted? Where are the children? That was the funniest one right there. I was like, yo, all the lines these bitches made up, where are the children? They be developing little terms and catchphrases to catch your empathy. On fault with that girl. So, where are the children? Oh, the children. Why the fuck you ain't worried about the children in the Epstein case then, bitch? You only selectively worried? See, right now is the time for you to call out a lot of these fake-ass advocate chicks that sit around talking about they was all about sexual abuse and against sexual abuse during the Diddy trial. But you ain't motherfucking against motherfucking shit. How come you ain't advocating talking about keep Giselle locked up? Maxwell locked up. I thought y'all worried about the kid. That bitch got 20 years. Shouldn't she do the whole 20? Huh? I said something wrong. I'm sorry. Oh man, first of all, let me explain something to you. First of all, and I do say this respectfully, I don't know if you mean them or me. I care about it because I worked at Bad Boy for over 17 years. You see what I'm saying? That's for one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? I'll cover this case in person. That's why I care. Because had this gone the other way that most people wanted it to go, what stories would I have told about where I worked at? What stories would I have told people what I did? I couldn't even brag to people about shit like this. You understand what I'm saying? Who are you, Eli Bums? I don't know who the fuck you are. Who are you? What's your real name? You better say it real quick. And if you're running around lying, telling niggas, say, I can prove my shit. I got photos, videos, everything else. Can you prove your shit? And if you can't, I'm going to take a screenshot of your shit. Because that's another thing, too. You got a lot of African American bloggers that have now subsequently started lying online. Like, they'll take shit from real people and then they'll run and lie to their followers, and then they'll get some followers that actually believe them until the followers actually find out that they're liars. You understand? You've never worked with us. I don't know you. If you were really down with us, then put your fucking name in the chat room so I know who you are. I don't know people by screen names and pseudonyms and shit like that or whatever. That means you're hiding. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a minute here where you can't hide no more. I'm gonna push as far as I can, and I mean this. My new advocacy right now is making it so YouTube and a lot of these other social media sites, because I said, okay, I've got the perfect premise now, because two great things happen out of that T app exposure and hack. One, you got to figure out how a lot of these women really think and how they'll lie on you. That's why I kind of connected here with this Diddy trial. Oh, okay, I got you. I apologize for that, Eli. Anyway, that's what men do. I apologize for that. Anyway, long story short, you got girls out here that are advocating that this guy should do all this time or whatever. But they've been numb about what's going on. Fucking what's the name? Okay, peace. They're numb about what's going on with Epstein and just lying. So, if you're not familiar, Ghislaine Maxwell was the one that brought Epstein all the girls. Huh? Ghislaine Maxwell was the one that brought Epstein all the girls. She got 20 years. Now, there's a consideration they might give her a pardon or whatever. If they give her a pardon, watch your Puff sitting there. Now, I'm not saying she shouldn't get a pardon. Because, whatever the law disaster, the law digress. But I'm just saying. Aren't y'all upset? Aren't you flabbergasted? No, you're not. Because Ghislaine Maxwell's a woman. Interesting. So you can facilitate the abuse of kids as long as you're a woman. Got you. Let me tell y'all something. This woman shit is rarely overrated at this point. That's the point I'm getting at. This woman shit is getting overrated, and you bitches are losing your ground, and you're falling hard on this woman platform shit. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. You understand what I'm saying? After the day before yesterday, we find that 13,000 women will write negative reviews about men and lying, and 90% of it lying. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. Lying. When I was talking about this T-app thing, it brought everything into perspective. If these bitches will lie on you anonymously in there, it's telling me the potentiality of all these bitches will lie on you to some certain degree. So why wouldn't the hoes lie about Puff in court? There was a bitch that was downstairs every day that was lying on Puff. So when we start getting to the point where chicks lie, you understand what I'm saying? I just need there to be some distinction. If there's no real files, there's no case against her. If there's no real files, I know you ain't here. Yeah, we got one in here defending Ghislaine Maxwell. Got to go have a nice day, peace. I just need there to be distinction. I think the distinction needs to start here. If they say there are no files, there is no case against her, which means they wrongfully incarcerated Epstein. So you think Epstein was wrongfully incarcerated? You got people out here that think Epstein was unfairly incarcerated. They got people out here that think Luigi Mangione was falsely incarcerated, right? And I just thinking to myself, well, I mean, judicially, I get what you're saying. You're not saying by advocacy, you're saying judicially. I get the difference. My point is, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, my point is, by conviction, not by testimony, not by hearsay, by conviction. Just like Weinstein, by conviction, which Weinstein in his retrial got a mistrial. You understand? By conviction, Ghislaine Maxwell got 20 years for facilitating actions, therefore, that saw over 1,000 young women abused, right? Hold on to that. With that being said, the conversation has come up. I can't neither confirm this or deny this, but some people would point to that type of spectrum because I've heard interviews have went so far, which we don't have any real details about the interviews. But yeah, you got to separate it. But I get what you're saying. But anyway, long story short, we've got to now distinguish Harvey Weinstein's case. We now got to distinguish Ghislaine Maxwell's inquiry. We got to distinguish those things when we're talking about Diddy, because Diddy only got convicted of bringing some niggas to pound out his wifey. You understand what I'm saying? And he paid for all of it, which I'm still mad at that motherfucker about, because we paid for him for 17 years. You out here giving big nigga, I could cuss your black ass out. But we love you, nigga. God, black motherfucker. Giving these hoes $20,000 in the Uber. For real. Niggas, if we was on the block, you know niggas would be ready to jump you. You know it, right? I'm just saying, if we found this out and you was on the block, you was still on the block, niggas, we would fuck your ass up. Like, he's still moving, kick him again. Oh, shit. You know I'm joking. Anyway, long story short, listen. I said they're not gonna let one go. They trying to let them all go. So I said it depends on if you're talking about judicially, socially, or emotionally. You have a fourth choice. You don't have to comment at all. Those seem to be the choices nowadays, don't they? I'm telling you. That seems to be the choices nowadays. We'll clown the fuck out of him. Nigga, you out here giving $20,000 to bitches. They don't help the team. Like, listen, I would like to see the $5,000 bonus for Christmas or something. Like, hey, this for y'all niggas, y'all to promote all these albums this year. Here you go, boom. The bitches was as easy as calling up this nigga talking about, yo, I ain't got no furniture in this motherfucker that you paying $10,000 a month. What can we do? I'm in peril. I'm in terrible finding. I'm like, you said the bitch is $10,000 to buy a motherfucker. Yeah, $20,000 here, $10,000 for a bitch to buy some furniture. Nigga, give me $4,000. I have this whole motherfucking crib relaced. You understand what I'm saying? And drop it on 20 to hoes, paying prostitutes fucking 25 grand for the weekend and shit like that. And you giving us crumbs while we working there? Nigga, I'll cuss your motherfucking ass when I see you, monkey motherfucker. Like, for real. On the block, we would have jumped this nigga. I'm Puff would have got puffed out. Hey, we would have jumped that nigga. And he know it. He's from New York, you know. You know what I mean? Oh, it is what it is. But this was Puff. There was Puff still on the block. We would have beat this nigga up. Nigga, you know that shit. You know that shit. Nigga ain't nowhere in Mount Vernon, New York, where you can go to this day and niggas come out with a story talking about, yo, this nigga was out here giving 10,000, 20 grand, this grand to these bras, sending money off on Ubers or whatever. And niggas is sitting over here starving. The nigga had the same pair of sneakers on for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is broke as shit, fucked up in Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas got some shoes on that's so thin you could tell that the floor hot or cold. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about you said the bitch is 20,000 in Uber? Yo, get that nigga. Beat the Harlem Shake out of his. I'm trying to tell you, we would have beat Puff. We would have jumped Puff. I ain't even gonna hold you. He know that. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I was getting at. He know that. It don't matter if it was me or some other niggas. We would have jumped Puff. If we would have known Puff was in the hood, giving bitches 20,000, taking care of bitches better. It's strange bitches at that. Take care of bitches more. You take care of the team. Like this nigga got like, nah, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? And he would have had to move out the neighborhood. Every time you come through here, we smacking you in the back of the head for them bitches. Peanut head. But it ain't like that in real life, of course not, man. We love him, but god damn, nigga, you out here handing bitches stacks for Jay. You wanted that's what let me down because nigga, I be out here getting chicks for free. So I'm like, yo, are you for real? Anyway, moving on. We ain't gonna talk about that, but I always like to have a little talk about Puff or whatever, whatever. Listen, you ain't gonna never give me. I'll say this last. If anything you remember about Professional, right? This is just my own shit. If anything you remember about Professional, I was down there the day that I heard he had got arrested, and I remember I was the first motherfucker down there. I was also one of the first motherfuckers to report when he first got arrested, and I was in New York when I did it, ironically. The point I'm getting at is, during that time, right, I just want to always be acknowledged that I was there, dog. You understand what I'm saying? Even when I did have reasons not to be there. You know what I'm saying? But the reason I was there was, I'm going to tell you why. And whether you like it or not, I don't give a fuck. You ain't giving me no opportunities. Ain't nobody on here fucking cash apping me. Ain't nobody support me. Niggas won't even hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? So it really don't matter to me. I ain't got out of the culture shit because that's all what the culture do for you down at that courtroom. There's too many niggas down there that was black skin talking about, yo, I hope this nigga go to jail. I'll always remember that in the back of my mind. You understand what I'm saying? You can play stupid and act like you don't see it. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I worked for this man for over 17 years. I'm not to sit around with any motherfucker I know. This any motherfucker I know. And I'm not sitting around and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Indulge and extracting information from a nigga. That's why you never see Davin Lewis's face on motherfucking somebody else's camera. You never do. There's thousands of stories I can tell. There was one nigga I sat down with at first. The nigga thought he was venting me. I was venting that nigga. You see what I'm saying? So I took him in the direction of a whole new conversation because he wanted to talk about something else. Was this a female singing artist at the time? You dig? So you know, like when you get niggas that's out here in these internet streets and they trying to project to you this, that, and other and third. Remember, there's only one nigga that been around that industry. There's only one nigga that actually was in the doors at Bad Boy. Actually, three of us. You know what I'm saying? That'd be Roger Bonds, that'd be Gene Dill, and that'd be me, who was there longer than both them. Ain't no argument around that, even from Gene's lips or his. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Because in all essence and terms, Roger Bonds is my type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a couple of Roger Bonds. You may not believe it, but trust me, niggas that know me know I know a couple of Roger Bonds. That's my type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not talking about with the shit with the, you know, telling his story, whatever. That's his story to tell. I'm just talking about his personality. That's the type of niggas I've always been around. You know what I'm saying? From day one coming up, and you know what I mean? Not Bad Boy. I'm talking about coming up. Like, I've always been around dudes like him. You know what I'm saying? Get busy niggas. So like, I don't take too kindly to a lot of these vloggers that built up their own narrative, and then their own narrative became false towards the end, and then they try to switch it around and walk it back. I say to bitch niggas like that, now y'all stay where y'all was at with it. Stay where you was at with it. What's that, Trent Out Loud, nigga? He was out there, and he tried to switch it up too. I appreciate that. I ain't really care for him, and then I thought he was cool at first. And then I just started seeing, like, he had, like, a sucker side to him. I was like, oh, I don't like niggas like that. Like, I don't like niggas that be, like, halfway, that, like, certain niggas that say what's up to real hard, and then, like, nigga, you knew who I was, and you knew what I was associated with. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you try to dump it off real quick, it's just like, I can't have one to bet. Nah, nigga, I don't, yeah. I see you on the screen, and I see you in real life, too. I wouldn't tap the nigga on the show, yo, what up, B? You know what I'm saying? I said, what up, B? Because I've been watching it, nigga. I watched a couple of these bloggers when they were covering the Diddy trial to watch how they started panning their story into another direction. You know what I mean? Because they saw shit was losing. I'm not about to sit around and gossip about motherfuckers I've been around for 17 years. I'm sorry. That shit right there with the, what do you call that shit? The first 48. That's what I'm saying. That's some first 48 shit, nigga. I couldn't. Nigga, if you knew the motherfuckers I hang around or whatever, I can't go back around them niggas like, yo, after I done did a couple of interviews talking about, hey, yo, and I remember when Puff did this, I remember when Puff did that. I'm not going to do that, but some niggas, like, and I ain't saying Roger and I ain't saying him either. I'm just saying some niggas, they do that. You know what I mean? And, you know, however they see fit to tell their story, they tell their story, right? I don't do that. And as a result, because I don't do that, based on the current climate here on YouTube, you get no residuals. You get no support or nothing if you're not on here tattletelling or snitching or whatever. So I got something else to offer, right? See, all those things right there that I just mentioned are part of something that's a greater, wider discussion, which is cancel culture. You understand what I'm saying? And what I think needs to happen is, to totally end all the shit that happened in the Biden era, it's time for us to cancel culture. Let me reiterate what I just said. I think the last remnants of the Biden era that they're trying to hold on to the most is cancel culture. So I got an idea. We need to start canceling anybody that promotes cancel culture. You understand what I'm saying? See, it don't make no sense that a motherfucker go around and they build up a career of doing all kinds of shit hard for the rest of their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make millions of dollars, trillions of dollars, however much you make, right? And then a group of motherfuckers that work collectively all make the salary of maybe the head manager at McDonald's can come in on their motherfucker, what's the name, and say, yo, you know what? He said something that was hurtful to oh no. He said something that was hurtful to mammals. We need to get rid of him. Let's cancel him. Let's get rid of him. We're not going to support him anymore. It's really some high schoolish ass shit when you really think about it. And it comes from the confines of almost like a spoiled rich kid or a fucking loser motherfucker. Because we need to really go back to the days when, you know, it was a time, I miss the days when motherfuckers knew they were ugly. I'm talking about physically or inside both. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we really, and I'm honestly, truthfully telling you this, we need to bring back the pecking order. You understand what I'm saying? There used to be a pecking order. Like, you know, when you went to high school, there was the nerds, then there was like the cool kids, then there was like the bullies. We need a pecking order again. We don't have a pecking order anymore. Everybody feels like everybody can be everybody, anything they want to be, and it's not the truth. You can't be. You can't pretend your way through life. You understand? Like, for example, I really worked at record labels. You can look this up. You can investigate it. You'll see it. You know what I'm saying? My name is attached to all kinds of shit. So for me, when I hear a nigga get on here and they be talking about, yeah, and this year Diddy and all them were doing this, and this year they were doing that, and this year now investigation journalism found this. I'm like, you have to do that because you wasn't around. You have to do that because you're not familiar. You understand what I'm saying? And so you get these type of individuals that are not familiar and never been involved, and they try to come in 2025 and give you gestation on what's going on or whatever. But sometimes these motherfuckers be the main people you got to watch for, because they're not necessarily keen on telling you the truth. They're keen on feeding you a story for entertainment. And y'all got to start distinguishing entertainment for information. See, in the history of this channel, I gave out a lot of information. And if you was really paying attention to me, you'll notice sometimes I'll say things within 2 or 3 days' time, they'll start talking about it then. Not because I'm some gifted, it's just the trajectory of where I do things from. So, like, for example, the T-App thing. I talked about that last Monday. By that following Thursday, you could go back and look for yourself. Look on my lives. Just go through my lives. You will see that. I was talking about it last Monday. I was like, yo, there's this T-Thing app out there, guys. And it's being utilized. Yes, last Monday, miss. Last Monday. Go back. Hit my name. Go to lives and just scroll back to last Monday. You'll see for yourself. I'll even share it in the comment section again. I mean, the community section if you need me to. I might even chop that part up and just post it up. But last Monday I was talking about it. Follow up Thursday, all of a sudden they got a breach and it's 13K. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you. I appreciate that. They got a breach of 13K. When I was talking about it, niggas was like, yo, you exaggerating. Pay attention. Niggas was talking about, yo, you exaggerating. It ain't that bad. Yo, I'm logging off. I don't want to hear about this. As soon as NBC started talking about it, oh, Lord, Master talking about it. It must be true. I ain't believe that nigga out there in the field. But Master said it's true. They say it's true up at the big house, y'all. They'll hop on that line. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to open up y'all motherfucking y'all goddamn show like that. They say this, it must be true because they said it up at the big house. The Big House podcast. That's what y'all need to call it. It must be true because they set it up at the Big House. That nigga in the field gave me rumblings of it, but I ain't know to trust him or not. He said he was trying to run north. He said he was trying to run north. I don't trust him. Well, Master said so up at the Big House. So it must be true. That's what y'all motherfuckers sound like. I heard a motherfucker say that the other day. They said, well, TMZ is reporting. Well, Master set it up at the Big House, so it must be true. I heard muddlings of it from one of the slaves up in the field, but I ain't know whether or not believe him. Well, Master Johnson say so, no. It's got to be true. They did, damn it. They set up at the Big House. They call this the Big House because it's big. Motherfuckers online looking at you like, you's free? You's really free? The fuck? Anyway, you gotta watch motherfuckers like that, bro. And I ain't about to sit up here and gossip with niggas I've been rocking with for 17 years, whether it's Puff or whoever the fuck. Cause I ain't do that shit in the streets, and I was in the streets before I got with Puff and them. Some niggas is like, yo, that nigga got paid off. Nah, any move I made, I did out of motherfucking loyalty, nigga. Trust that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, niggas ain't even got to talk to me next week. It don't fucking matter. As long as my shit is stapled in the ground, yo, that nigga was there 9 months ago when other niggas wasn't there. That nigga was there the whole time spending his own money when other niggas from the company didn't even show up. You understand what I'm saying? Niggas didn't even show up for Vasta. I said, how the fuck y'all don't show up for Vasta at least? God damn. I gotta understand that niggas like didn't show up for Cassie or the Jane chick or even Don Rashad, but y'all ain't show up for Vasta. Yes, Master said it's true, so it must be true. He set it up here at the Big House. They call it the Big House because it's big. That's what it feels like on this app, for real. Let me see if anybody's donated. Guys, if you haven't, it's an hour more. Oh, hour and a half more, because I haven't mentioned it yet. Guys, make sure y'all hit the Cash App, $STRINGER. Please let me remind you, make sure you double tap the screen and hit the like button. I'm also going to get into the story. Well, actually, he filed for another, bond release today, bail package. They offered the first amount of money that they had offered the first time initially 9 months ago, which was $50 million. The thing with me, and I'm glad you asked that question, the thing with me is, I think what you need to skip on, Puff, when you got more filing these motions, stop talking about you want to go to Miami, nigga. All right, you ain't going to Miami no motherfucking time soon. Keep your black ass in New York. It might be the God trying to keep bring you back here so you start divvying up some jobs here. People need jobs here. You understand what I'm saying? So if you do get off this, bring your motherfucking ass back to New York. Like, that's what fucked up everything in the first place. You ain't started doing none of this dumb shit till you went out there to California. You know they make pornos out there. You was tempted. That's what a lot of people don't want to talk about. They make porno movies in California. Puff was out there and he was under the influence of the fucking porn movies. And I'm going to prove it. Boy, let me tell you something. Man, listen, that porn industry out there they got in California, it spruces. Anybody live in California know what I'm talking about. It makes women out there get into some sexual activities. The influence of it, the vibe of California, it make people get into sexual activities they normally wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? You end up at parties you normally wouldn't, because everything out there shut down like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. If y'all don't know that, LA shut down early. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know about the rest of California, but LA shut down early. You'll have little spots here and there or whatever, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? They're the Big House. He should stay into next year. Some people would say that. I don't think so. I don't think he should stay in the next year. I mean, if you want to max out the sentence or whatever, and get time served, then maybe yes. But I think, like, honestly and truthfully, I don't think he should be sitting up in there anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that one of the craziest things is Mark Agnafilio and team, y'all got to stop doing this shit talking about he want to go to his house in Miami. They ain't going to let that nigga go to Miami. They just had this motherfucker on trial for weeks in New York. You talking about, yeah, you want to go down? Even the portrayal of that looks like he wants to be in leisure, and that's the last thing they want to see him in is leisure. He's still the convicted motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So stop all that Miami shit. Plus, Miami bring up a whole bunch of other shit. Bitches on the beach and thongs. You know what I'm saying? There's too much temptation there. You understand what I'm saying? Like at the most, it's about to get wintertime back again in a little bit here in New York. Bitches about to be back in jeans and shit like that. You a lot less tempted. Big ass coats. You a lot less tempted. You understand what I'm saying? But in Miami, nigga, you just saying to the judge, I'm telling Puff real shit. If you told me I keep going, because you keep throwing in the bail packages, places of leisure. Listen to me, my nigga. So Puff, you add in Miami and then you add in LA. Okay? Now, first of all, you dumb as a motherfucker for adding in LA. And I'm gonna tell you this to your face. You know how I'm talking. You a dumb motherfucker for adding in LA. Cause nigga, ain't this what they did to motherfucking raid that nigga? You bringing up your own shit, nigga. Don't mention the LA house, nigga. Fuck that house. Matter of fact, sell that shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Bring me up about 200,000. Playing. But anyway, long story short, then you mentioned Miami. And you had to come from Miami to New York before they arrested you. You see what I'm saying? So niggas, stop mentioning LA and Miami. You put Miami in the original bail hearing package, and they ain't like it then. So stop putting fucking Miami and LA, the first place that they raided, the second, the place that you got the Cassie videotape from. Stop mentioning that shit in the motherfucking bail hearing, dumb motherfucker. And the second thing is stop mentioning motherfucking Miami. It looked like you about to, listen, Miami is too close to other islands. You had a plane before. You understand what I'm saying? I know you still got the plane. What did they do? They docked the shit in the Bahamas or whatever. Well, where'd you fly off from? You flew off from motherfucking Miami down there in Opalaka down there, the lagoons. You understand what I'm saying? Don't do that no more. Stop putting fucking Miami and LA in that shit. It shouldn't be nothing in that motherfucker but New York City where these niggas can easily find you. That's the point. Now, he don't need to go no Utah. He need to keep his ass in New York. That's where they will feel comfortable with him. You understand what I'm saying? That's where they'll feel comfortable with him. I guarantee you. And now I got y'all give me 1 second. I have one of these losers in the chat room. Let's see how successful you've been on here. I always like to point out how successful they are. Oh, you've been here 3 years of 4 subscribers. Don't nobody care about nothing you got to say. Long story short, he needs to stop putting LA and Miami. Trust me when I tell you this. He needs to stop putting Miami and LA in the bail packages. You put one motherfucking place, and that's New York City. You put New York City and solely New York City in this motherfucker, you probably could have been out months ago. But you keep putting this shit in like you got intentions. Like they was already nervous thinking you was going to hop on the plane, and fly out the motherfucking country somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He said, come to Connecticut. Now don't come this motherfucker here. You get in trouble out this motherfucker because you're bored. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to this motherfucker. Don't come to this motherfucker. You'll fall out the way you'll fall out being bored. Don't come to this motherfucker. I'm bored in Connecticut. Connecticut is like, I don't know, it's not a place to party. Connecticut's a place to live. You know what I'm saying? A solace. That's all it is. Anyway, you want to party, do all that shit, you got to go to the town. You know what I mean? New York. So anyway, long story short, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, take that off your bail package. Take off Miami and take off LA. Don't nobody want to hear that Miami, LA shit from you. You understand what I'm saying? And you reminding them of shit subliminally. You don't even realize you're saying it. But when you're saying, and we want LA, his LA home included, but LA was the problem with Cassie and shit like that. LA was a place where these motherfuckers had to come in and testify and said, yeah, he paid us some money, right? They had to come from LA. LA is the place where you beat Cassie in a hotel room back there. So motherfucker, why are you putting LA in the goddamn motherfucking bail hearing package? You understand what I'm saying? Why the fuck are you putting in motherfucker? What's going on then? What's the name, New Britain? What's going on? You from New Britain already? You know, Myron Gaye's from Fresh and Fit. He from New Britain too, man. Shout out to Myron, man. Yeah, that's what's up. New Britain. I had Mayor Giordano out there. That's the first time I ever heard of motherfucking New Britain. that New Britain had a mayor. Y'all want to talk about this puff shit and talk about Epstein and all that shit, right? Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. The deputy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, family. You know what I'm saying? I seen the what's the name getting ready to come out too on the champs. You know I'm gonna be tuned in or whatever for that. So you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you though, man. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, this nigga need to stop putting Florida and motherfucking California in the bail packages, nigga. Just put New York. Bring your ass back to New York where you put in lit. Time for shit. Man, all the time. Man, you family, nigga. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking to G Depp right now, man. G Depp first project, let's get it. And the first time I seen him. Depp, while you here, let me show you a picture of something. I meant to share this to you the other day. And I ain't get it, but Depp, man. We're gonna say something about G Depp, man. G Depp got a lot of new work out right now. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. Go on his page. Fuck with him. Trust me, the music is fly. He got a new interview coming out. I'm looking for my tablet. Y'all think, well, I'm looking so crazy. He got a new interview coming out with Drink Champs. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Make sure y'all get ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Stay ready out now on all major streaming platforms. So go get that. Like, fuck with it. You know, like, this is an artist. You know, he didn't pay his dues or whatever. He back. He doing good work. All the boys I done heard, the people he messing with or whatever, seem to be 110% people. So y'all make sure y'all get a little bit more in tune with G Depp as he rises back up. Make sure y'all go purchase stuff, go streaming. Everybody need them dollars because everybody ain't making that much money off this streaming thing anyway. So if he's selling it on his own, make sure you prefer that as your purchase mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ain't getting paid off music because of the streaming thing. Y'all heard Snoop talk about it and numerous other people. So streaming ain't necessarily the greatest thing in the world. You know what I mean? When it comes to trying to make money, now selling your own product. So I know G Depp gonna be successful. He's a talented artist and come from the line. So you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I can't find my goddamn tablet right now for some reason. Am I sitting on it? This is the weirdest thing. Y'all just saw me with my tablet just a little while ago. Now all of a sudden I can't find it. Where is my tablet? And I hope I didn't drop it. I'll find it in a second. There it is. No, that's my phone. There it is. I'm like, where the hell's the tablet? G Depp is definitely a legend, but I want to show Depp this picture because he gonna bug when he see this. I try to tag him in it before. Depp, if you still there, just stay there for 1 second. I found my tablet. I wanted to show you this picture though, because I ain't have it with me that time. Hold on 1 second. I ain't have it with me that one time, but I got it now. It's on this joint. Hold on 1 second. Let me show y'all. Okay, got you. Let me show you some of these pictures, man. I know you gonna love these. I wanted to show him why he here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just go to my page. Yep. I keep all my photos in this one place because I know this place ain't going nowhere. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you some real G Depp shit. Hold on 1 second. There we go. See all. Where's the joints at? Where's the joints at? Where's the joints at? It might be these. Let me see if it's these. I got an old picture of Depp. Yeah, this one right here. I went right to it. Who that is? I thought you ought to see that picture right there, man. I know that bring you a good spirit. You know what I'm saying? RIP to BR. You know what I'm saying? But had these joints or whatever. I'm gonna give these to you too. Whatever. That's me and Black Rob right there too. That's over 1540 or whatever. But many people are not familiar that Black Nas is pretty puff. But we at first got introduced to G Depp during this era right here. This was one of Sean's album release party. Yeah, man, I got all these old pictures. That's what Chrome and all them know me for. I got all the pictures. You know what I'm saying? That's me right there. That's in front of the old office at 1540. That's me with balloon jacket on. But you see Black Rob right there. That's when we was promoting BR. But yeah, man, we promoted these projects. Let's get it, all of them. You know what I'm saying? That's me and Poe. Yeah, that's me. You see old big head Chrome and Mayor. You know what I mean? But we really lived this shit, man. But I wanted to make sure he saw that one right there because that was the first time. This picture right here was the first time we was introduced to that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, big head Chrome. You know what I'm talking about. I love that boy. Oh, chubby ass. That's my man, though. You better not bother him. You understand? But yeah, man, I appreciate you so damn much. Like, and people be thinking I'm up here and they be thinking I'm bugging and I'm lying to them or whatever. What I'm like, nigga, I'm not lying to you. I just don't get down like that. So, like I said, and we'll puff back to what I was saying about Puff. Puff, this if you put up these bail hearing packages, Debbie put up another bail hearing package today. Um, Miss Westmoreland or whatever her name is. I'm gonna reread this to you guys or whatever for you guys just checking in here. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that screen and hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. It helps me out in the algorithm and all that or whatever. I wanted to read this one for you real quick, and it's pertaining to Puff today filing for a new motion. We're going to find out, I guess, subsequently later on or sometime during the day. Definitely RIP to Black Rob, man. And I'm going to go up there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all I needed right there. Thank you so much for saying. You don't know how much that. Shit. Thank you so fucking much. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back here. Something accidentally happened with this phone. Diddy is taking another bite at the apple because his legal team just filed a new motion for bail. And they said he's the only man in America behind bars for hiring male sex workers to bang his girlfriend. Diddy's legal team, spearheaded by Mark Agnafilio and Tina Garagos, just sent a new bail package proposal over to Judge Enron Sabaranian, rattling off a list of reasons why they believe Diddy should be released from jail before his October 3rd sentencing. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Diddy's lawyers argue most of the folks convicted the Mann Act charges. Diddy was found guilty on 2 Mann Act counts, released from custody before sentencing. Diddy's camp said it's ridiculous he's behind bars. He was the only one convicted of hiring professional male escorts who were not minors. I underline that, who were not minors, to have sex with a long-term girlfriend as part of threesomes. They say it's all part of Diddy, Cassie, and Jane living in a swinger lifestyle. His lawyers say a lot of change in the terms of society's view on sex since the Mann Act was passed 115 years ago, like I mentioned earlier, June 1910. And they claimed Diddy never had sex with guys he had hired, only the girlfriends did. Diddy's awaiting sentencing on October 3rd after being convicted of prostitution charges and skating on the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. But his bail was denied hours after they returned the verdict. The judge said Diddy was a danger to the community because of his violent past. That's his defense did not shy away from the trial. In the docs, Diddy's defense said he only got violent at Jane during June 2024 when she provoked him. Like I underlined that earlier, I said she provoked him. Because they said the same thing about Cassie. She provoked it. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying. You get these girls that provoke dudes. And that's why you had girls in my chat room earlier. I said, y'all know any girls that provoke guys and stuff like that? And they said, yes, I know about 10 of them. You understand? So, let me keep on continuing here. The jury was shown the Cassie hotel beating, but that was from March 2016, and Diddy's legal team says he has been mostly nonviolent since 2018, aside the incident with Jane. They say he won't be violent if released from jail. Diddy's proposed bail package looks like this: a $50 million bond, and that's why I said to mirror the initial package they gave before with the $50 million. A $50 million bond secured by Diddy's Florida estate, the one on Star Island. And co-signed by 3 financially responsible people. I think I can figure out who that is, doing a couple of deductions. The proposal says Diddy will reside at his Miami home. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier. No, nigga, you won't reside at your Miami home. You're going to reside at your New York apartment. God damn, that Melvin voice from Baby Boy, little dumb motherfucker. Bring your ass to New York. Quit telling motherfucker, I'm going to reside in Miami. That's what it's saying to the court. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to reside in Miami and reflect on my life. So no, nigga, you going to reside. Tell them motherfuckers you going to live in the Bronx. You got to be slow, low, and humble. Don't be telling motherfuckers, yo, I'm coming on to a $35 million estate when you didn't just put up $50 million. It's like you telling the court, kiss my ass. It ain't time for you to tell the courtroom to kiss your ass yet. Nigga, it's time for you to be nice and humble. Don't get this motherfucking win. Get you cocky again, motherfucker. Calm down. Remain humble. This is what God was telling you about when he was answering your prayers. Remain humble. Remain humble. But goddamn it, talking this shit, talking about you want to go home to Miami, you want to go down to Miami. You ain't going to fucking Miami. Get it out your motherfucking mind. They will never let you get released to Miami. So you need to tell them, yo, I'm going to stay in New York, and that's the only thing you have in the bail package. Once again, it says like this. Diddy proposed bail package looks like this. A $50 million bond secured by Diddy's Florida estate and co-signed by 3 financially responsible people. The proposal says Diddy will reside in Miami home. No, nigga, you will not reside in the Miami home under the sun. You will reside for at least 2 years in New York City. Rebuild what you started here first, motherfucker. This is what God is telling you. You got a song called Coming Home. Bring your ass home, nigga. That's why motherfuckers went down there. You really want to know the truth? That's why I drove when motherfuckers went down there at the courthouse treating for you. I got to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell you why. You hadn't been in New York for years. You took off for the sun. I understand the kids were out there. I get it. But the point is, you took off and you deduced everything that was here in New York, including up there by the Ed Sullivan Theater down there, but up here in Midtown, where you had Bad Boy Worldwide there. That was beautiful. You understand? We was right across the street from David fucking Letterman, Jesus Christ at the time. And this motherfucker let the office building go. And y'all saw me. I did literally videos up there where homeless encampments had been built up there. And they sent people through there to, to get the people out of there and shit, because they was up there doing heroin and shit. If anybody's been a long time subscribing to my channel, you remember that. I used to have in a video. They have since tore the building down and now they're replacing it. You understand? That's the building where Keisha Puff Sister was right at the front desk. Every time you walked in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If she didn't know you wasn't getting up in that bitch. Pretty dark-skinned chocolate woman. And motherfucker, way. Niggas, quit telling the court you want to go live down in motherfucking what's the name? I'm not black, I'm OJ. Yo. I'm going to let you stay here on that one. You know what I'm saying? At the most, because there's only no reason Diddy should be in jail. There's no reason Diddy should still be in jail. But this dumb motherfucker got to stop putting up bail packages. Because I want to tell him like 9 times, nigga, stop telling these motherfuckers you want to go to Florida. Are you out of your motherfucking mind? You not going to see those. Be glad you get the dusty-ass sun you got in New York City tri-state. But this I want to go to Florida. No, nigga, you're not going to Florida. Sell that motherfucking house. Why would you want to keep the shit any motherfucking way at this point? Sell the motherfucking California too. Why would you want to keep that at this point? God damn. It's like that dumbass cousin you got. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you don't think I should hire the lawyer again? Nigga, hire the lawyer. Man, I don't know, man. Nigga, hire the lawyer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to talk to your dumbass cousin like that or some shit like that. You can love him, but like that, don't you get it? Stop telling these motherfuckers you want to go to Florida. The fuck? You just had one of the biggest international motherfucking covered cases in American history since this motherfucker OJ, and it was highlighted by a nigga. Now you want to talk about, well, yo, after I got the conviction and shit, I want to go lay up in the sun and see what the poor people are doing. No, nigga, humble yourself. Bring your black ass back to New York. I'm telling you, this professional telling you this. Note this shit, cope this shit, whatever the fuck you want to do. Stop putting in that you want to be released to Miami fucking Florida or released to motherfucking California, you slow, silly motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Just put New York City. You got a spot to stay in New York. Tell them your black ass gonna stay in New York, and that's it. That's what they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear that you want to go to California. They don't want to hear that you want to go to Florida. You know why? Because then you out of their jurisdiction. God damn. Keep telling motherfuckers you want to go to Florida after you done this motherfucking beat around. No, nigga, you already talking about Florida for the next 2 years. You think this shit over? This shit ain't over. They're going to still try to come after you. They afraid you're going to go to Florida, take off from the civil shit. No, keep your black ass in motherfucking New York. This is your primary residency. And until you say that, they're not going to let you out. I can guarantee you they're not going to let you out. If you was a regular motherfucker, I'll give you an example. Niggas, when they come on this state called TS, right? That's time served in Connecticut. In New York, they got a different form of it. Jersey, they got a different form of it. Still same shit. So if you go in and you get time served, that means you done went in, you done put in your works, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, right? And then they'll ask you, well, where you going to TS to? Where you going to time serve to? So now they want an address from you. You understand what I'm saying? So now the address, you know, it could be mama and them's house, you know what I'm saying? It could be your sister house, it could be your friend, but it gotta be somebody directly with you. You understand what I say? This is the common man's version of what Pup was going through. Now, once they grant you the TS, you understand what I'm saying, which will be time served in his case or whatever, they're gonna reprimand that this be the thing. So even if he get convicted, nigga, you telling them you want to go to California, you want to go to fucking Miami, Florida, some shit like that, niggas gonna look at you like you stupid. So this nigga ain't never bid before. That's why he don't understand. You ain't never bid before. You don't understand. So anyway, long story short, now this nigga unbidded twice, so I know. You know what I'm saying? I just slid water up under the door, all that shit, nigga. You can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bag full of water, sliding it up under the door if niggas don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get your soups on and all that after the lights is out and all that. So anyway, long story short, CO, let me get some hot water on the pot, dog, homie. Got one nigga out there, he slide water on the nigga's bag, you know what I'm saying? That's how you have to do it. Anyway, long story short, check it out. We got, and this is honest God the truth. If he does get a bond or does get TS, the first thing they're going to ask him was his primary residency. And what I'm trying to explain to y'all is Puff is sitting out here telling niggas that the primary residencies that he wants to pick are one in a locale where he got the main tape that was involved in his, like, this nigga don't even realize this sometimes, I don't think. Nigga, the chief witness in your fucking trial was a motherfucking surveillance tape. You understand what I'm saying? That was the chief witness in your trial, was a surveillance tape. And so that tape was filmed in LA. Your shit with the paying the motherfuckers off, that was had in LA. You understand what I'm saying? The raid that they did, that was in LA. Your kids was in cuffs in LA. So why the fuck would you have in the motherfucking bail hearing package that you want to go to LA? And whoever the fuck writing that shit in there, Mark, quit writing that shit in there. Even if he say, yo, write the shit, don't write the shit in there. Thank me later. Mark, even if he tell you to write, Mark, do me a favor, Mark. Even if he tell you to put in Miami or tell you to put in LA, don't put it in no more. Just tell him you going straight to New York. Trust me, the nigga will be out. He could have been out if he would have kept putting that shit in there. You giving him attention saying, well, he looked like he want to go to back to the scene of the crime. For fucking what? Yeah, he ain't never been before. I'm trying to tell niggas he ain't never been before. Nigga that been before would know that shit. I'm a TS the motherfucker. Like, you locked up in Connecticut, you tell nigga I'm a TS down here in Ohio. Oh, are you now? Is that so? Fuck out of here. Then they gonna want to know a whole bunch of other things. You ain't gonna be unsupervised, nigga, so you have to check in with somebody, I'm imagining. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of shit to go on with. Niggas think they scot-free because they scot-free. Nah, nigga, don't work like that. They still keep that clamp on you. You understand me? Better be aware what the fuck going on. Sitting up here telling me I want to go to Miami. What the fuck you want to go to Miami for? Then they say you did some shit down there. I stay the fuck away from Miami. The fuck you want to go to California for? And yeah, you had some shit that happened in New York, but in New York, they feel more comfortable with you here because you're able to be monitored. That's what they want to do. They want to monitor you. Nigga, you just beat one of the cases of the motherfucking times. And you talking about, well, yeah, if it's all up to me, I want to go to Miami and Florida where they said the most shit happened. You stupid motherfucker. God damn. This is cousin talk. Hey, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. This is cousin talk. Sometimes you gotta talk to folks you love like that. And you stupid motherfucker. Fuck wrong with you telling these motherfuckers you want to go to Florida? Nigga, you out your mind? Sell that shit. I wouldn't want to live there any fucking way anyway. It's been a raid there. It's been motherfuckers investigating there. What the fuck you want to live there again for? What you think gonna happen now? They gonna have the shit on the surveillance. Sell that shit. Get rid of that shit. Motherfuckers don't know how to let. That's the problem with rich motherfuckers. I done seen that shit for the 17 years I worked with. That's one thing I figured out. Motherfuckers still want to stay around to keep shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy no shit that you don't want to get rid of real quick. That's what I tell motherfuckers. You can't pack up. You can't make a decision real quick and be like, yo, in Dubai, right? You got a thing where they'll have people that abandon their cars. You know why they abandon their cars? Because it costs so much to get it back to wherever they want to take it to. So they'll abandon Ferraris, they'll abandon Lamborghinis, all kinds of shit. Or sometimes when they get, what's the name? What's going on? Or sometimes when they get impounded, they'll leave $100,000 car. You know why they'll leave that motherfucker? Because they don't give a fuck, because they can replace it. But no, importantly enough, it ain't important enough to them to motherfucking worry about it. See, the thing with you, pup, you let a lot of things with assets get in your way. Don't let assets and shit like that get in your way. I've lived in Connecticut almost my damn whole entire life around these rich motherfuckers out here on the shoreline. I'm here to tell you, my shit ain't been much different. I done lived in condos, all kinds of shit, shoreline and everything else. Everybody know this about me, right? So, for me, when I see a motherfucker that got more than me, but I done worked around them, stressing about problems that don't really are not really problems, like how do I dump this house? Da, 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 da. Sell the shit and let it go. Sell the shit and let it go. Sell the dream of Miami. Sell the dream of motherfucking. I wouldn't even want to fucking live there now. You know what's gonna happen the first time they see you on motherfucking Ocean Drive? You know what's gonna happen the first time they see you on Ocean Drive? Post-trial. Do you? Do you know what the fuck it's gonna be like for you when they see you on Washington Drive, or Washington Ave, or any of these motherfucking streets down there in Miami? Tell me, I want to go on down to Miami. No, the fuck you don't. Get your black ass back to New York, motherfucker. About time somebody need to tell you too. You fucked our whole life up not being back up here no more, going to fucking California. Don't even realize this nigga's here to need to work, dog. And you taking all the jobs out there. Like, come on, man. Get this shit together, bro. Ain't no motherfucking Miami. Ain't no California. None of that shit. Bring your black ass back to New York. That way these motherfuckers can monitor you and they feel more comfortable about it. They don't feel comfortable that you won. Don't you get it? They don't feel comfortable that you won in the sight of that, in the space of that. So what you need to do now, Puff, is motherfucking get this thing in line with these bail packages. And if you really want them to work, stop putting in there that you want to go to LA and motherfucking Miami. That shit don't even make no fucking sense. And Mark, stop writing that shit in there, even if he tell you. Because when you get it, he ain't gonna have no problem with it. So stop writing that shit. Stop writing. And at the end of it, tell well, that nigga professional said it. Tell him I said it. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know how people think. You telling motherfuckers you want to go back to the scene of the crime, basically, without telling them you want to go back to the scene of the crime. I want to go back to LA. I want to go back to Miami. Motherfucker, are you out your motherfucking mind? We halfway through the motherfucking finish point. You tell these motherfuckers you want to go back to the scene of the crime. Fuck wrong with you? That's the shit that pissed me off. Outside you giving bitches $20,000 in Ubers and shit. We talk about that later, though. Out here giving bitches $20,000 in Ubers and shit, $10,000 for furniture and shit like that. I'm on here asking motherfuckers for donations to keep my channel going, because motherfucker YouTube only paid me $53 this month. Off of 400,000 views, I got 53 motherfucking dollars. I said, this shit, you can't win for losing on this shit. So guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. What's going on? I can use the support $STRINGERBELL80. If you don't have Cash App, go to my description box. I have links there for PayPal and also for Venmo. And also in the share, if you share one of these, I've got the same thing too. He gonna get pulled over. Tom anywhere else going home. Yeah, but you better off getting pulled over in New York. That's what I'm saying. Because listen, you get some shit to happen, guys. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, any amount to do or whatever. I'm gonna try to travel for y'all today if y'all want me to. I know somebody suggested, he was like, yo, we want to see you go out or whatever, because you ain't been moving around like that since the Diddy trial, whatever. If y'all want to see me move around and do a joint for y'all today, then let me know. Hit the Cash App or whatever. We need our traveling expenses. We need moving around money, pocket money, really. You know what I'm saying? To make things happen or whatever, because I got so denied doing the Diddy trial in favor of Johnny Come Lately vloggers or whatever. So, you know, it was a hard turn or whatever, but I ain't make none of the money back. I spent a lot of money down at that Diddy trial over 9 months. So make sure y'all support the channel. Hit it up. I need to get my phone back in order. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? It's funny because, look, I tell people this all the time, and ain't nobody gonna argue with me. Like, some niggas will tell you this, and they lying. I was the first nigga down there. I was down there 9 months ago at that Diddy trial. You understand what I'm saying? And my intentions with being down there were totally different than other niggas. Other niggas went down there because they wanted the views and shit like that. Yeah, the views come with it, but that wasn't my intention of being down there. My intention was to be down there because this is somebody I worked for. This is somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I done put that label on my arm, on my back, on t-shirts, everything. Been in the club with bang, 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 bang. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I don't know. When I'm from, like you a sucker ass motherfucker if you start like I don't know, like that's just the way I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like you a sucker motherfucker if you start like, yo, yeah, them niggas did this the whole time or whatever. That mean like the nigga was bitch the whole time he was around you. You understand what I'm saying? Like he was just an actor. Like that make any sense to y'all? Like if a nigga been around you and they ain't easy to start telling on niggas and shit. Like to me, it was like he was an actor. Like I was facing like 8 years, nigga, and like I never snitched on a nigga or nothing. Came home to the niggas, the same niggas that I was hanging with before I went to jail. I like literally came to the crib the day I got out. You understand what I'm saying? And I walked from the courthouse in my Browns. You know what I'm saying? I walked out the court, and that was the state Supreme Court in Connecticut. So, you know what I'm saying? Please make no mistake about it. I wasn't in no local court shit. I was in state Supreme Court. So, like I said, man, I just ain't with that shit. I ain't do that shit then. I'm not gonna do that shit now. And thank God I didn't. Thank God I did. Look how shit ended up. So, you know what I'm saying? If you got me on the record for anything, get me on the record. I'm a loyal, unfake nigga. Like, I ain't gotta be fake to get views, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gotta be fake. I ain't gotta put on fake voices. I don't talk like, hi, how are you guys doing? Oh my God, like, God. Nigga, and I live in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I want to pull this up real quick because I want y'all to hear a couple little things I had to go here. And I just wanted y'all to hear this right here because this is very important to me. And I'm wondering why the fuck what's the name said this shit. And I don't know why. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I want to bring something up for y'all concerning Beyonce. And it kind of blew my mind. Took me out of. Oh, that's more stuff about the T app. I have a lot of things here. I have what's the name. So how do I feel about Gene Dill? I don't feel no ways about Gene Dill. I mean, Gene, like I try to explain to people, and I think I've heard him say it himself too. We don't know Gene from our era, really. You know what I'm saying? Like Gene did like private shit for Puff and shit like that. So it was like we more familiar with Roger Barnes. You know what I mean? Like we not familiar with Gene. Gene was from a period that was before us. So I don't really have like in the scope of us, we kids to Gene. To put it that way, we kids to Gene. You know what I'm saying? So like Gene was around before we was around. I can't say nothing because I can't validate nothing. I can't debunk anything he said either. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? When he say what he say or whatever, that's from Gene Dill's perspective, I guess. As far as the interviews and all that shit, if you mean that, I don't agree with all that shit. I think niggas like there's this girl and she had to stay up and she was like, yo, how she say it? She said, yo, the whole reason for speaking Ebonics is so people wouldn't understand us like they wouldn't understand us on the slave plantation or something. That's in the Caribbean or the Americas. And she said, when you go online and you explain Ebonics or you explain coding or whatever, you got to keep in mind, and I can feel what she's saying without saying it. The game is to be showed, not sold. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like, you show niggas the game, but you don't sell niggas the game. And I think a lot of niggas been selling niggas game. A lot of niggas been selling niggas shit that they shouldn't be selling certain type of niggas. It's not even that you telling niggas, it's a certain type of niggas that you telling. There's a lot of niggas out here that act like they stand up individuals or whatever, but they're entertaining a gossip crowd. You understand? They're entertaining a gossip crowd, and those gossip crowds are also inclusive of the cancel cultures. And that's why I said earlier, I said maybe it's time we start canceling cancel culture. I think that's really what the problem is. Cancel culture to me, because they try to do that with Puff, they try to do that with Jay and a few of our other brethren. I think that cancel culture shit should be marked in what it is. Fuck nigga shit. You know, fuck nigga jump online. These are usually fuck niggas that we would, give a wedgie to in high school or something like that. Nigga, we smack around like, yo, nigga, what the fuck you got on us with a motherfucking stall after school, nigga? Fuck you mean you ain't got no money, nigga? You know what I'm saying? You better be, fuck you mean you ain't got no money no more, nigga? Tell your moms to up the game, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it one of those little doofy ass niggas. Like, so it's like, it's funny to me when you get these podcasters, like that dude, what's his name, Neon. Shout out to Jess Hilarious for pointing him out. This motherfucker, y'all get on me or whatever, whatever. Actually got black in my blood, so I can say the word nigga, and I can say it in different connotations if I want to. And fucking thing you can say about it. Look at my skin. What the fuck can you say about it? So it's this kid named Neon, right? I don't know if y'all heard about it, but he went on Power 105. Charlamagne the God, he invited him up there. This is why I'm pointing this out. Niggas be trying to pop up niggas and point them out because they look different or they talk different or something like that, right? So this nigga went up to Power 105. Charlamagne and them invited him up there. Was giving the nigga hugs and all this shit. This nigga, you know it, had sat on his channel saying all kinds of shit about niggas. Talking about niggas was less intelligent, niggas was this, niggas is that, but he was on there acting like he was cool and he was down. He even got a couple black niggas running behind him because they paying him. He paying them. You know what I'm saying? So they make him look like he's legitimate and shit. This nigga pussy. So after finding out, the only one that had some balls to say something was Jess Hilarious. So that's why to this day on, unless you do something fucked up again, I respect the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because she still on, even the Lauren LaRosa bitch. That's why I told you I don't like that fake ass bitch. Y'all be trying to sit around and act like that Lauren bitch is so real. That bitch phony as fuck, nigga. I can smell through that bitch. I smelled through her when she turned. Let me tell you when I smelled through that Lauren LaRosa bitch, and I hope somebody at Power 105 hear me say about the bitch too. Like, I turned on that phony ass bitch that day when she did that shit to Jess. And regardless of however you feel, she did motherfucking bite Jess Hilarious's motherfucking toe. And I'm gonna tell you why she did. You don't ever step on the toes of a motherfucker that puts you on. That bitch got fired from TMZ when nobody fucking with her. You understand what I'm saying? So I felt how Jess felt, and I don't think it was justly applied and she fell on that victim empathy shit. That's why it should have been Jess Hilarious out at the courtroom, not this Lauren LaRosa bitch. It should have been Jess out there. Jess would have been a better fit for that. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all sent this bitch out there. I don't like that bitch. And if I ever get the chance to see you, I'm gonna tell you in person, I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? I think you fake. Don't ever ask me nothing. You understand? I don't want to be interviewed by you. I don't want to be on your podcast. Matter of fact, fuck you and everything you represent. Because you's a phony ass bitch. You try to say the same game. You try to like size it up and be all friendly and puff sensitive towards the end. But bitch, I wasn't initially what you were saying. I paid attention to everything them niggas that was reporting on this Diddy shit said initially. That's what mattered. And anytime you fumble from that initial motherfucking position you have, fuck them niggas. That's how we do in the street. Do that in real life. It doesn't disassociate because it's in real life. Yeah, I don't like that bitch. Like, for real, I don't like that bitch because she be making plays and shit. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like that bitch. You know who was a real nigga? Believe it or not, y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want to. What's homeboy's name from the Shade Room? Or whatever, the little light-skinned nigga that had the glasses on and shit. Look, he kind of look chubby nigga. Or whatever. I ran into that nigga on the last day or whatever. And I didn't know what to think of him because the first time I saw him, I knew who he was. He was down there like the third day of the trial or whatever. The little heavy-set nigga from the Shade Room. And I thought he was a fake-ass motherfucker, not because he gay or something. Like, I mean, you can obviously look at him, so he's gay. The guy ain't got shit to do with this New York. But I heard some things that he said. I said, oh, this is a real nigga there. Okay, I fuck with you. All right. That's why I tell you, don't be judging them gay folks over there. Some of them niggas are they 100%. You know what I'm saying? I found that out through life. Some of them gay dudes is realer than niggas in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And will put in more work. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So let me address this real quick. I want to say it the right way, because sometimes I be saying shit the wrong way and niggas be getting mad at me. And niggas scrambling and scrambling. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about. But as far as like that comment about Gene Deal, let me finish that off. I don't know what Gene got to say. I don't know what Gene has seen. I don't care. That's Gene's business. I ain't here to speak for Gene. I ain't never spoke about Gene's business. I've spoken to Gene before when he asked me something on his podcast. I was on his podcast. And he was talking about two things. The first thing he was talking about the first time, he was talking about my ex-boss. Then he was talking about Candace Owens or whatever. And I interjected in the conversation. He was talking about Candace Owens or whatever. He was like, well, since you know her, I said, no, I don't know her. She's just from my area. Candace Owens is from here in Connecticut. You understand what I'm saying? So I done did 2 lives over by where she grew up at, not too far from where I'm at right now. And people enjoyed them. They looked at them and, you know what I'm saying, they said what they said or whatever. So shout out to her, you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing against Candace Owens. I know she say some things that some people don't like. I mean, that's her business. I say shit people don't like. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button, support the channel financially if you can. Let me go make sure if anybody supported, I say thank you to them. Yeah, it's hard over here. All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up. So let me finish this. I got a rule. If nobody's financially supports, I just take off after 2 hours. So this is your first time here. Just make sure you know that I love to have these discussions with y'all, but if it ain't paying, I gotta go. I got paid $53 from fucking what's the name this month from YouTube for 400,000 views. So we, as content creators, you're gonna start seeing a lot more people disappear because I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but they're changing the algorithm so much that we're starting to lose a lot of revenue as far as the CPM. I think a lot of people, whether you like me or not, will agree with that if you monetize. So that's the worst thing. To make $53 for 400,000 views is ridiculous. I put that up yesterday. I'll show y'all again here on my thing. For 400,000 views, and I made $53 now. It was $51 yesterday. So we put time and effort into this. I edit every day. That's why I took a break yesterday, because I was like, yo, this can't go on no more. Like, this shit is ridiculous. So make sure y'all financially support the channel or whatever. You can do so by Cash App. If you don't have Cash App, then you can use PayPal or the Venmo links that are in the description box. Is also in the what's the name that I shared here. And a lot of people will be like, well, don't you have the super chat? Even with the super chat, you have to use your card. So with PayPal, you don't need to sign up. Venmo, you don't need to sign up. Cash App, you do need to sign up. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you hit that up, support that, or whatever. A lot of people act like they have a problem supporting my channel, but go and support anybody that's anybody just because. Anyway, Just Hilarious invited that cocksucker up there. What's his name? Neon or whatever. Charlemagne supported him coming up there and shit. They always support the nigga that they don't need to be supporting. And it was just a fuck fest, man. Jess put it down who exactly this little motherfucker was. She exposed him for what he was. And I say to Jess, hey, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? And Corey Holcomb, if you see what I'm talking about, you should say shout to Jess on that too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes this good investigative training. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? Yeah, I don't be putting no faith. Like a lot of, I'm not saying him, but just a lot of niggas in general that I used to look up to on these internet streets or whatever. I don't no more. Yeah, I'm like, man, listen. A lot of niggas that let me down. They be thinking Puff let me down. I be like, nah, a lot of y'all niggas let me down. A lot of y'all niggas let me down. Niggas I used to believe in. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, not you. They didn't got you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be crazy. Anyway, let me read this shit all to y'all, whatever, so I can get up out of here, because, you know, when you ain't financially supported, you got to get the fuck out of Dodge. But I appreciate y'all the views, so I appreciate that. And for the people that did hit the like button, I appreciate y'all. So what I'm going to move on to is Trump called out Beyonce to be prosecuted. I don't know if y'all knew about this or whatever. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, well, why did Trump call out Beyonce over a $11 million payment or something like that? So let me read this or whatever. President Donald Trump over the weekend called for the prosecution of music superstar Beyonce based on something that did not actually happen. Trump claimed in a social media post that Beyonce broke the law by supposedly getting paid $11 million for her endorsement of Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris during October 2024 event in Houston. But there's simply no bias for Trump's claim that Beyonce received $11 million payment related to the Harris campaign, let alone for the endorsement in particular. Federal campaign spending records show $165,000 payment from Harris's campaign to Beyonce's production company, which the campaign listed as a campaign event production expense. And Harris campaign spokesman told Deadline last year they didn't pay celebrity endorsers at all, but were required by law to cover the costs connected to their appearances. Okay. So then it states, hold on one second. Then it states federal company, regardless of the merits of the particular $165,000 expenditure, it's far from $11 million alone. Nobody has ever produced any evidence or claimed that the entire 8-figure endorsement payment to Beyonce since the claim was $10 million began spreading last year among Trump supporters on social media. Fact check websites fact.org and PolitiFact looked into the $10 million claim during the campaign and did not find any basis for it. The White House did not immediately respond to CNN's request late Saturday for any evidence of Trump's $11 million figure. When Trump previously invoked the baseless figure during an interview in February, he described the source as the vaguest of terms. Somebody just showed me something. They gave her $11 million. A Harris spokesperson referred CNN on Saturday to a November social media post by Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, who called the claim a $10 million payment a lie, and noted that it was taken down by Instagram by false information, when in fact Beyonce did not receive a penny for speaking at the presidential candidate Vice President Kamala Harris rally in Houston, Knowles wrote. A spokesman for Beyonce told PolitiFact in November that the claim about $10 million payment is beyond ridiculous. What Trump wrote on Sunday was, Trump revived the false claim in a social media post published after midnight early Sunday morning in Scotland, where he is visiting. He wrote that he was looking for the fact that Democrats admit to paying probably illegally $11 million to singer Beyonce for an endorsement. Democrat officials also reject the claim that $11 million payment. The White House did not immediately respond evidence of or request for any evidence of Democratic admission of such payment. Trump went on to criticize other payments from the Harris campaign and organizations connected to prominent endorsers. He asserted without evidence that these payments were inaccurately described as spending records, and he wrongly asserted totally illegal to pay the. Okay, so I mean that's the gist of it. He's saying that Beyonce was paid $11 million to endorse Kamala Harris. Now, truth is, Kamala Harris spent how much during her campaign? And everybody had a problem with how much she spent during her campaign. Am I right or wrong? And everybody would say, even in the Democratic Party, they were pretty messed up that she lost. Not only that she lost, but the pure simple fact they were kind of messed up because of the way they found out she was spending the money. So when you had Meg Thee Stallion, you had 2 or 3 other people. Who else you had up there? Michelle Obama, a couple other people, whatever. It would seem to me if you spent, what did they say? She spent like $40 million or something like that. It would seem like to me there's room for you to spend that much money. You understand what I'm saying? And whether you did or didn't or whatever, I'm just saying there's room for you to spend. Is that fair? There's room for her to spend $11 million. Is that fair? So I think what's really happening is Trump is just trying to make sure that he submits, that he's going to keep pouring down, kicking Kamala in the chest while she's down on the ground. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing he's going to do, he's trying to sway hip-hop artists from actually endorsing these people. And I get that part too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him. You know what I mean? I don't blame him. I mean, it's a political move, but it's a move. I ain't got no problem with that. He ain't going to prosecute Beyonce. He ain't going to do none of that shit. That shit is all a play. So we get to see how motherfuckers react. Trump do that shit all the time. Let me see how these motherfuckers react. See what side they're on. Beyonce, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Trump ain't going to do shit. That's what he do. He just fucking with y'all. He's poking at y'all. He's like, bring your motherfucking ass over here and holler at me, though. That's what he really mean. You know what I'm saying? Trump, all you got to tell, call on up this motherfucker, Jay-Z. Go ahead, call up this motherfucker. I need to talk to you for a minute. You bring Beyonce up here, too. Shit. God damn it. Come on up to the White House and I'm going to get a sandwich or something. Call me when I get back from Scotland. You know, in there and holler at my secretary. She'll arrange shit for you. You know what I'm saying? It's holler at my secretary. She's going to arrange everything for you. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back from Scotland next Thursday. We come and we sit down and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think that's going to come out of that or nothing like that. I don't think Beyonce got no reason to be worried. I don't think Trump will try to prosecute her, throw her in jail, nothing like that. But it was meant talking about and it's bringing up. I think a lot of people will roll, and it was just in case somebody tried to roll with that, but a lot of people will roll with these stories and take them for what they are, whatever. Trust me when I tell you, Trump will be one of the most hated motherfuckers in America if he tried to prosecute Beyonce. He know that, and I know that. But that don't mean you can't try to convince a motherfucker. Bring your ass on over here to the Republican Party now. You gonna say some motherfucking something? Hey, bitch, you gave me 11, I give you 12. Yeah. You said they gave you 11. Look at I give you a pardon and give you 12. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell nobody though. You can't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to sing at this event now, Beyonce. All right? You know what I'm saying? Like that one shit, Love Come Down. I want to hear that shit again. It's one of Mr. Trump's favorites. But yeah, I don't think Trump gonna do anything to her or try to have her locked up and no shit like that. I don't think so. And there's one other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, and then I am out. All right, which was this right here. Go back to it. because I think this is pertinent to the conversation when we're talking about. hmm I went over the other day about Jay-Z's supposed daughter or whatever, and I ain't talking about that shit no more. I think that shit's corny. Yeah, I don't want to talk about her. I don't want to talk about Ramir. I don't want to talk about none of that shit. Hold on one second. I want to show y'all this one thing, though. I got it in here. I just can't find it. Yeah, this is the one thing I wanted to show y'all. I thought this was something I could end on, and I think y'all might enjoy hearing about this. So in AI, right? In AI, they're having a problem. And I thought I would just break this down for y'all just so y'all can hear this and maybe y'all are interested in it or not. But I want y'all to understand this. So this talks about AI, and it says AI generated imagery consistently favor white people compared to people of color. This paper examines the image-to-image generation accuracy, i.e. the original race and gender of the person's image was replicated in a new AI-generated image on Chinese AI-powered image generator. We examined the image-to-image generation models, transforming the racial and gender categories of original photos of white, black, and East Asian people. In three different racial contexts, a single person, two people of the same race, two people of different races. The findings indicated that white people were more accurately depicted in AI-generated images than people of color in all three contexts. Black people, particularly females, were depicted with the lowest AI racial accuracy in the image of a single person, but with higher accuracy in the image of two people of different races. The pattern of Asian people, particularly males, was inverse. The app had higher AI-generated racial accuracy for Asians in a single person image, but lower accuracies for Asians in two people or different race images. In all cases of incorrect racial generation, the AI-powered image generator depicted most people of color as white. Image generation and potential representation harms of an AI-powered beauty app developed in China. More broadly, these technologies' basis reflect the form of post-colonial globalization and impacts of image processing systems in non-white settings, including social values of white supremacy and norms of white beauty. That is crazy. This study examines the particular type of facial image processing technique. Image-to-image generation systems used in a mobile phone application. The function observed in this study is to process the transforming original photos and involve human faces into new AI-generated images, which uses machines learning how to analyze facial features and create unique images. Although the use of AI technology for facial recognition and image generation has experienced a significant surge in adoption across diverse spheres in modern society, covering personal, commercial, and identity management applications, concerns have been expressed regarding the accuracy of these systems across different populations. The most prominent research topic in this context concerns racial bias associated with facial recognition verification, and still images and videos having higher accuracy for white people than people of color, particularly women of color. Jen and Chen, 2008, the creators, although the research topics related to facial recognition technology are not the same as the concept of face involved image-to-image generation. They involve some overlapping technical steps in facial image processing, such as face detection and face alignment. These lead to investigate potential similar cases of disparities in racial and gender accuracy, namely that images processing and less accurate for the people of color, especially women, than whites, in an increasingly popular technology. So basically what they're saying is the technology hasn't really been able to develop with black and Latin and evidently is only perfect for people that are white or Asian, being more so I think for Asian because an Asian person actually invented the app at its core. For the women, that's the funny thing because you're the most inaccurate black women. That's what I was pointing out to you. I don't know if you caught that or not. And so you're the most inaccurate to be depicted on AI. Any of you ladies, y'all feel any way about that? Because they're depicting you as being white women down there. Do any of the ladies in the building have a problem with that? I want to address that. An AI coming into the future and how you're depicted. No, you don't care? I'll give you a second. I just want to see if any of the ladies in here really care about anything, or we just got a whole bunch of ghosts in here. If we just got ghosts reminded, we can go ahead and end. Okay, well, the girls don't want to talk about any subject that could tell us to them, so at least you know I tried, right? And that's why, like, every now and then I'll throw these conversations out for the girls to engage in, and you'll notice, I'll just say this. You have no right to complain about things that go on against women in the world or whatever, if you're not complaining on them initially. This even goes for girls that were involved with Puff's situation in his trial. If you didn't complain about it initially, don't come later and complain about it. If you didn't complain about it and you didn't want to speak about it or whatever, I'm confused. How do they think this is going to be true? Sir, I just read you from one of the leading publications in AI technology and development. People are across the board complaining, including in Africa, that they're utilizing AI features for either pictures or either for video, all collectively saying the same thing. The depiction and the outer-generated image that you get in the end is not depictive of what the average person looks like that's walking around as African American, particularly the women. They're deplorably showing the women in manifestation, matriculations of versions of what someone from an Asian background would think that someone looks like. So basically, you would say that a person looks like this based on your perception, when in reality, this black woman looks like this, with your own two eyes in front of you. So that's the confusion. It's depicting the men and the women of color differently than they appear to be in real life and in less accuracy. And the people that are developers of the app technology that does the image enhancing, the image manipulation, is based on a team in development that is of Asian origin, to be specific, Chinese. Does that help? Okay. I think some people on here think I'm dumb. I don't know why they think I'm dumb. It's an advantage to me when you do think I'm dumb, though. It really is. It really is. Before I get up out of here, since nobody wants to talk about that or whatever, people. That's why I said, I don't like people that when you bring a conversation in front of them, they don't want to discuss it. They don't want to talk about it. Ladies, you have AI out here depicting you guys are not how you really, really look. You understand what I'm saying? On some of these apps that they're utilizing to create AI. I brought it up to y'all because I thought that would be some importance of you, and I just want to see where your heads were really at. Evidently, the women that are in here, nor the men, they really don't give a shit. So, okay, I'll step off on the conversation. I'll never have it again. No worries. You understand what I'm saying? No worries. But what I'll say is this. Don't complain about shit later on. Complain about the shit when it's going down. And I just try to explain to y'all some shit that's going down right now in the current. And instead, y'all said, well, I'd rather stay anonymous or look. And look, let me tell you something, right? I just got some new subscribers or whatever. I really don't like new subscribers. New subscribers are cheap. New subscribers, they want to steal most of the time. That's why they subscribe to you. They want to steal your content. New subscribers are weird. They like to hide in spaces and shit like that. I ain't really with that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a new subscriber and I find that you ain't said nothing to me, I don't want to fuck with you. I'm confused. How do they think this is going to be true? I can't believe you really asked that question. I don't know how you really asked that question. How are you going to decide this is going to be true? You one of them niggas, right? I already don't like you. Yeah, I don't like niggas that come in like that. Niggas like that are corny. So this will put on record, right? Let me make sure I get this. It's a put on record, right? I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. Just to put on record. None of the women in the chat room are upset how AI is depicting them and generating them based on Asian developers. Nobody's upset. None of the women are upset. They all cool with that, right? Before I get up out of here, I just want to make sure all y'all ladies is cool with that. You ain't got no complaint about it. So fast forward a couple months from now, y'all gonna be on the headline. Oh my God, ladies, we gotta be aware of how we being depicted on AI. Y'all not gonna have that conversation, right? Because y'all ain't worried about it right now, right? Y'all ain't worried about it, right? Y'all pay attention. This is the same shit I'm trying to tell you that went on with the Diddy trial and a lot of these other motherfucking trials. That's why I brought that shit up, to let y'all know these bitches ain't worried about motherfucking how they look. These bitches is cons, nigga. Ain't a hoe in this motherfucking chat room say nothing. And you ain't paying attention, nigga. Ain't a hoe in this chat room was worried about how they depicted on AI. Now one, not a hoe. That's why I tell you, a lot of these advocacies and all this shit these bras be putting out, that shit be fake, bro. That shit be fake than a motherfucker. Feel sorry for me, aka pay attention to me. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, we good. All right, y'all. Ain't none of the women worried about how they look online. Women of color said nothing. You understand what I'm saying? The people in here is deader than a motherfucker. And I need to go in the YouTube studio and remove some more people. I don't need YouTube. Let me put this on note. I don't need YouTube to bring me new subscribers that don't spend a dime with you. And 9 times out of 10, they probably racist as shit, misandrous, don't hate men, or whatever the case may be. I need YouTube to bring me my subscribers that I've always had. I don't need no new subscribers. New subscribers suck. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't like new subscribers, and I don't know how much I can emphasize that.